So the African Union is officially including America in its quote unquote sixth district, thinking that this is going to help the continent get reparations, and they're including foundational Black Americans. Let me tell you right now, we did not give permission for this, so the answer is no.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Welcome back, family. Okay, be one of every single last one of you guys. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. I had to do a whole bunch. Okay, I was sitting up there, man. Okay, reset everything. The powers that be is going to try to stop us. They will. They always do. But we're going to get through it regardless. We are going to get through it regardless. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, can you please put a thumbs up in the chat room? I just want to make sure that I'm crisp and clear. All right. I had to do a lot. I literally had to do a lot in the last couple minutes. Okay. It took me about a good 20-something, 30-something minutes to get that together. Okay. So we good. We are good. If y'all was listening to it, we good now. All right. Thank you guys for being here. We're not going to waste no time whatsoever. Not going to waste any time here. We're going to be talking about the African Union and what the African Union is now doing. Now they're trying to make it seem like this is something that is supposed to be beneficial to everybody, something that's supposed to be beneficial to us, except the fact we have not given permission for this. We do not sanction this, and this is not beneficial for us. It doesn't matter what they're doing. They're including Black America. They're including America as far as the 6th district, because they have different districts. All right. So I have these two people here. Okay, you have, I think his name, Huayo Lorraine, something like that, the chairman of the African Union, and then you have Muhammad Ali Yusuf, who's the chairman of the African Union Commission. So they're not FBA, no ties to FBA, no representation to FBA, no real respect for FBA. But what they decide to do is they decide to include us because we're the ones, we got the sauce, we got the motion, and they feel like if they can tether even from the continent, they tether from the continent. If they can tether onto us, that would help the continent. Now, what happens here is we got some kind of video thing trying to explain it a little bit. Let's listen to what they say and they're doing. We're going to listen to what they're saying they're doing.
For centuries, Africans and people of African descent have lived with the enduring negative impacts from the legacy of slavery, colonization, apartheid, genocide, and systemic discrimination. They have suffered from historical crimes and mass atrocities, including acts of deportation, mass massacres, arbitrary detentions, the use of torture, the plundering of natural resources and cultural property, and nuclear testing, which led to human and environmental disasters. From the transatlantic slave trade to modern socio-economic inequalities, the call for justice has echoed across generations. To this end, the Assembly of the African Union unanimously designated the 2025 theme of the year as Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations. This is
okay. We're going to stop it right here. We're going to stop it right here. Let me tell you something. I'm not, and you know here, you know what we do here. We fight against white supremacy, okay? You know that's what we do here. That's our mission, okay? That's our MO. It always has been, it always will be, okay? What they are trying to do is they're trying to say, well, look at what the colonial powers did to people who are of African descent in Africa. So what the African Union is going to do, we're going to represent all of the African descended people who have been harmed and aggrieved by the Western European powers. No, we not doing that. No, no, no. Now, I'm not going to sit up there and say that there are not people who deserve reparations outside of FBA. Of course. But we not the same. You're not going to just lump us in the same and then say the West give us reparations. No, absolutely not, because that's going to ruin the whole thing. That will ruin the entire thing. We might as well just give up at that point, okay? let's take this off. We're going to get back to the video. Let's take this off of the thing, because in Africa, y'all being colonized, and then y'all having y'all resources stolen from you by Europe and the Western powers. That is a very different thing from slavery. Colonization and slavery are similar in a lot of aspects, but are not the same. Okay, you guys were not considered property, chattel property, like our ancestors were. All right, so y'all claim against the West is not our claim. Okay, even the claim that the Caribbeans have against the West is not our claim. Moreover, if we really want to get into it, a lot of the African tribes and the African governments, or whatever the case is, they were complicit with slavery. They were along with the program, okay? They were sitting up there selling people to white folk. They were selling enslaved people, whether that was from you're enslaved from war or different tribal beefs, whether these were prisoners. It's not like, and they keep trying to frame it like the West white folks just came and kidnapped people. No, not really. Not like y'all make it seem, okay? There was a whole lot of African chiefs out there. Come on now. There was African chiefs out there who was selling folk, and they was making a profit. They was profiting off of the government. You still got the that one location, I think in Ghana. They had a whole thing, a big tree where they would make the slaves circle the tree, the tree of forgetfulness and all of that stuff that they was doing in Africa. All right, this is going to mess the whole thing up, because they're going to be all like, well, how do we owe you reparations? This is what the West is going to make the argument with, which is why you're not really seeing the suspected white supremacists. You're not really seeing the suspected white supremacists make that much of a fuss about this. Let me tell you why. Because they already understand, oh, y'all about to mess the bag up. You don't see Charlie Kirk, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, the Megyn Kelly, the suspected white supremacists saying anything about this, do you? Right? Notice that. You don't see them saying anything because they're looking like, whew, this is perfect. The Africans are going to mess it up for them. Oh my God, all we got to do is be quiet. They're being quiet because they already understand that this is not going to work. They're being quiet because they want the African Union to mess it up for everybody. Because what all they get to do is say, well, hold on. If we were having a business transaction and y'all was selling slaves and we was buying them, how do we owe you reparations if y'all was selling them? No, that don't really make no sense. And then we owe you reparations. We can't owe you reparations for selling the slaves and then owe the slaves reparations for being a slave. Like, what are we doing here? We might as well just forget about the whole thing. That's what they're going to do, which is why you don't see white supremacists saying anything about this. You don't see them mad. Now, normally when we talk about reparations, they be all trolling in the chat room and getting all upset and hooping and hollering, but they're quiet. They're quiet because they already understand that the African Union is going to mess the bag up for everyone. They already know that. They say, yeah, sure, represent them. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, yeah, keep doing that. And mind you, they're not necessarily asking for cash payments either. Just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. We don't even know what their definition of reparations is. African, but we're going to continue. Let's continue.
It's more than just a theme. It is a movement to pursue justice and repair for the historical injustices suffered and the enduring impact on Africans and people of African descent, and to restore the dignity of a people who have been marginalized over a long period of time. The demand for reparations.
Did you hear that? Let me take it back a little bit. Let me take it back. People who have been marginalized for a long period of time. That is incredibly vague. Listen to them. Hold on.
And people of African descent, and to restore the dignity of a people who have been marginalized over a long period of time.
And to restore the dignity of people who've been marginalized. But the thing is that That's very vague, and African descent is very vague. There's going to be, I promise you, you're going to have a whole bunch of Hispanics claiming to be of African descent. They going to, no, you're going to have everybody and their mama claiming to be of African descent if y'all go down that road. No, absolutely not.
The demand for reparations is not new. It has been a fundamental part of Africa's journey in decolonization. Since the founding of the Organization of African Unity in 1963, African leaders have advocated for the recognition of and accountability.
First off, and look at them trying to make it seem like they started the reparations move. We've been on reparations since 1865, okay, as foundational Black Americans. They sent up there like, yeah, in 1996, the African Union, y'all late to the party. We the ones who got this stuff rolling, and it wouldn't be no global conversation, no national conversation, no statewide conversation about reparations if it wasn't for foundational Black Americans. That's it. That's all. All right. It has been us and only us, period. We the only reason reparations is slightly discussed at all, period. All right. And we've been doing it alone. And everybody else is now starting to get on that, okay? Dr. Claude Anderson's been doing it years before some of y'all was even born. So no, we're not gonna sit up there and make it seem like the African Union, the one who woke it up. No.
For the historical crimes committed against Africans. In 1992, the OAU established the Group of Eminent Persons to develop a political agenda on reparations. This was followed by the first Pan-African Conference held in Abuja in 1993, which resulted in the Abuja Proclamation. The Abuja Conference and Proclamation were key milestones in this journey. The 2001 Durban Declaration and Plan of Action declared the transatlantic slave trade and apartheid as crimes against humanity and recognized that colonization is the foundation of the systemic discrimination against Africans and people of African descent. The 2001 DDPA called on the international community to collaborate to seek redress for these crimes and combat forms of racial discrimination.
Yeah, but the thing is that, and we got to pause it. Hold on. If y'all feel that way, which you should, because that's the right way to feel about it. That's the truth. If y'all feel that way, you guys should be making up for your participation in that. If y'all feel that way, honestly. If that's honestly how you guys have felt about it, then you guys should be making up for that. You guys should be in all like, hey, let me have some dual citizenship. We're gonna set aside some land programs and stuff like that for y'all to come in. Y'all don't gotta pay nothing. Y'all get to come in and do business over here. We don't get to do business. We don't get to be involved in their politics. Okay, we couldn't go over there and get elected nothing. We couldn't go over there and get elected class president if we went over there as FBA. We couldn't do that. We got to come there with the bag. We got to keep spending the bag. We got to keep doing, we got to follow a whole bunch of different rules. Okay. So they're sitting up there actively acting as if they're advocates for everybody, but yet y'all just want the West to pay you. And what you guys are doing, what the African Union is doing, is they're going to say, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take the oppression of all Black people, everybody, the ones that we sold, the ones that we kept, everybody, we're going to take them all. And then we're going to say we represent them. So the West should pay us because we represent them, the ones that we didn't sell and the ones that we did sell. So you need to pay us for everybody. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Y'all don't represent nobody but yourselves. And then y'all not representing yourselves that well. There's still a whole bunch of tribalism going on in Africa right now. Y'all don't even have unity amongst yourselves, okay? You still got Asians sitting up there going around beating people up. Y'all not trying to sit up there and help. Colonization all through the place. Y'all not sitting up there trying to help. Y'all don't send aid over here ever. Do you guys do that? Well, this is some type of African unity and things like that. Because y'all get a lot of natural resources. How about this? Because I'm a businessman. We business people. We businessmen and women, right? We business people. Okay, so what we're gonna do is y'all sitting on a lot of natural resources, ain't you? Y'all sitting on the natural, good amount, the most natural resources in the world. Okay. How about you guys cut us in on that? We get a special, unique deal. Hold on, y'all listen to me. How about we get a special, unique deal on all of y'all, since we all together, and since y'all included us in the 6th district of your African Union, we didn't ask for it. But how about you guys give us some of y'all, the cocoa, the gold, the diamonds, all of the minerals and stuff like that? How in the oil? Oh, come on. How about we get cut in a special, unique deal because we all family, huh? How about that? Y'all ain't trying to do that. Y'all ain't trying to cough up no land. Y'all not trying to cut us into anything y'all got going on. But yet y'all want to represent everybody. Yeah, we're not having that. No, we're not doing that at all. No. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. They was trying to shut us down. Okay. They was trying to shut us down, but we are here. We are absolutely here. They ain't shutting nothing down. Okay. They might stall us, but they can't stop us.
In recent years, Africa has taken decisive steps to pursue justice and repair for its people on the continent and the global diaspora. The AU's 2021 initiative on the restitution of cultural artifacts underscored the need for historical accountability. In 2022, the Accra Summit on Reparations and Racial Healing reaffirmed the urgency of reparatory justice and healing, culminating in the Accra Declaration. The declaration highlighted that the transatlantic slave trade, colonialism, apartheid, and systemic racism have caused immeasurable harm and declared reparations are not just about compensation. They are about healing, restoration, and empowerment.
Do you guys see what they're doing? They're saying the transatlantic slave trade, colonization, apartheid, systemic racism, all of this harm, let's just put this all in the same category. Okay? And then we get to represent what's in their best interest. Do you see what they're doing? This is why, and y'all wonder why we got to delineate. Y'all wonder why we got to do that. Okay? Because no, the slave trade, and I'm not going to sit up there and dismiss, belittle, anything that they've been through. I'm not going to sit up there and dismiss the harms and the evil atrocity of the apartheid. I'm not going to do that, but that's not chattel slavery. I'm not going to dismiss the evil of colonialism, but that's not chattel slavery. I'm not going to dismiss the evil of anything that they've gone through, the suffering that white supremacy has put them through, but that's different. You're not going to put that all on the same thing. Okay, you're not going to sit up there and put that all in the same pot and then say, okay, well, we represent this. No, you don't, because that's not the same. It's not the same at all. And had you guys, truth be told, can I tell the truth? Can we tell the truth? Had you guys initially fought against that instead of selling people and all of that stuff that y'all was doing, had y'all initially fought the European colonialists, y'all probably wouldn't be having this issue. Had y'all did the right thing from jump, we wouldn't be having this issue, but y'all didn't. Y'all went along with it as long as y'all was getting paid and the chiefs and all of that stuff, as long as y'all was eating, okay, getting high off the hog, as long as that was happening, y'all was good. And then the Western powers turned around and said, hey, are those diamonds? You was selling, you got diamonds? Oh yeah, okay, you gonna have to give me that. Yeah, oh yeah, y'all didn't think that y'all was gonna do that. They was buying Negroes, and then they looked like, hey, Connor, that looked like a diamond. They got diamonds and oil and stuff. Hey, you gonna have to give me some of that, Atumbe. Come on now with that. Oh, now all of a sudden, now the whole African descended people got to stand up together. Because no, it backfired on y'all. No, if y'all wasn't doing that in the first place, if y'all would have did right from the beginning, we wouldn't be in this situation. No, we would be all good. And Africa would be this great Wakanda. But y'all didn't want to do that. Okay? So, this is really y'all fault. Okay? And I'm not trying to take blame anything from the colonial powers and all of that. They got a special place in hell for them. But we're not going to sit up there and say y'all don't have or y'all didn't have a part to play. because you did, and you don't want to acknowledge that. And now you want to sit up there and lump our incredible grievance with what y'all have going on, okay, and still currently what y'all have going on versus what we had to have to suffer through, and it's not the same, and we're not allowing it.
In 2023, the Accra Conference on Reparations resulted in the Accra Proclamation, which among other things calls for the establishment of political and institutional mechanisms at the continental level. The AU's 2025 theme of the year marks another significant milestone in the conscious institutionalization of reparatory justice and racial healing in Africa. This initiative aims to develop a common African position on reparations, establish an
There can't be, and I gotta keep pausing it, because notice they're gonna keep trying to do this. Yeah, we gotta have a common African. No, Africa is a big continent. And now you guys are trying to claim that you guys represent people who have been off of the landmass of Africa for over 500 years. And then a lot of us were here before, okay, scientifically proven. A lot of us were already here on this land. But yeah, there can't be no global African position on the whole thing because we have not gone through every single thing. There's things that South Africa has gone through that Nigeria has not gone through, and Ghana has not gone through. So they can't have a unified or universal claim and have it be the exact same, because even on the continent, they have not gone through the same thing. Especially when you get off the continent, our claim in America is not going to be the same claim that Jamaicans have, or Haitians, okay, or Puerto Ricans, or anybody else. Y'all make sure y'all get those likes up. Let's hit that like button, everybody. Let's hit that like button.
African Reparatory Program of Action and strengthen collaboration with the Caribbean community, CARICOM, and the global African diaspora through a joint mechanism on reparations. These efforts are crucial in ensuring that Africans and people of African descent receive justice in tangible and transformative ways. From the streets of Accra to the auditoriums of the African Union, voices of the African people from and outside the continent are uniting to demand justice and repair. Scholars emphasize the economic and psychological impact of historical injustices. Activists call for direct reparations in various forms, including development funds, educational programs, restitution of looted cultural property, international institutional reform, and political representation.
Did y'all hear that? I let it play. Sometimes it's not all the way what they say, but sometimes, y'all, it's what they don't say. That's the thing. What they don't say. Did y'all hear them say cash payments? Did y'all hear them say anything tangible? They talking about political representation. So they doing all of this for a quote unquote seat at the table. This is what this is about. They want, we want some education grants. And so this sounds like some NAACP nonsense. We want some education grants, and we want a public park, and and then we want, another holiday, and we want a seat at the table. That's all we want, is a seat at the table. No. See, this is why y'all can't be in charge of nothing, which is why the white supremacists aren't complaining that y'all doing this, because y'all already messing this up. Y'all don't even know what to ask for. Y'all need to sit down somewhere.
Youth are leading movements that challenge the status quo, ensuring the call for reparations remains at the forefront of global discussions. The path to justice and repair is long, but the African Union, its member states, the African citizens, and the African diaspora are determined to walk it together. Reparations are not just about the past, they are about the future. A future where history is acknowledged, justice is served, and Africans and people of African descent can thrive with dignity and equality in fulfillment of the Africa we want.
Of the Africa we want. Not of the African diaspora, but of the Africa of the continent that we want. Okay. Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This has been a huge finesse that we cannot allow. We cannot allow this finesse, y'all. All right. We're the ones who've been waking up the whole thing about reparations in the first place. Now, what's interesting is some years ago, I'm not even just with Biden, but you had Biden, the Biden administration, the Obama administration. They've been going to Africa, giving them resources, giving them aid, America has cut the check for Africa. All right. Now Trump comes in, and then Trump's all like, hey, all that cutting the check stuff for Africa, that's dead. We ain't doing that no more. Now, all of a sudden, when the Democratic Party, keep this in mind, when the Democratic Party was cutting them a check, it wasn't, no, we all African and African descent, and we all need to work together to do nothing. Well, we was on our own, and they had it. When they the same way slavery was. Funny. Funny how things just kind of repeat itself, huh? People don't really change that much, do they? It's funny because when they was getting paid, when they was getting certain deals from that, I think the Biden administration gave them billions of dollars in the last year, 2024, or something like that. When they was cutting up, getting them deals and talk about reparations, they didn't try to include nobody. They didn't try to include us. Oh, but now Trump come in and he say, hey, all that cutting the check for y'all, that's done. Yeah, we ain't doing that no more. Now all of a sudden is my brother and my sister. We have to work together. Okay, we are people of African descent. We have all gone through the same thing. We have gone through the same thing, and we have to work together because the Western power, the white man, he is an evil man. The white man is an evil man. He has bought you and he has sold you. And he has done bad things. He has done so much bad. And we have to work together. We have to get our money together. Well, we really don't want money. We don't want that. Okay, we want a seat at the table. That's what we want here. Okay, so why don't you sit down over there and I will represent you together, nigga. Do you understand? We are people of African descent. And together, I will sit here and lead you guys to the future of Africa and Wakanda. You guys don't understand what we are doing. You guys need to understand what we are doing. Well, listen to me. What we are doing, we have been the ones who have been fighting the white men for everybody. No. We've been the ones doing it. We are going to do it the way we want to do it. Okay, with y'all coming in and y'all trying to get on our reparations things, we can't let that happen. No, we are not doing the whole thing where we acting like we all the same and we all this. And no, we are not doing that. All right. Y'all sitting up here, y'all coming in and y'all trying to say that our culture is y'all culture, y'all cosplaying. All right. And now that we're making our delineation, now that we're announcing and standing on our delineation and standing for reparations, y'all upset. Okay, y'all sitting up there acting like there's no difference and all of that stuff. There's no difference. You got people, hold on. You got people who are African sitting up there saying, hold on, we are all owed reparations from the same government. No, we not. Hold on. No, we not.
African Americans, continents.
Okay, here it's a little bit of moisture going on, but all right now.
African Americans, continental Africans, and Afro Caribbeans are all owed the same reparations. The U.S. government.
We are all owed the same reparations. Okay, I want you guys to understand this is going to be a talking point that they're going to start using. We are all owed the same reparations. No, we are not. No. Talk about Africans, African Americans, which is what they now they're refusing to acknowledge the fact that we're not using the word African American. Every time they say African American, that's a protest to the fact that we are retiring that term. We are retiring that idea, that identifier of African American. Okay, and they're doing that to protest the fact that now we're claiming something more specific like foundational Black Americans. All right, now listen to what he had to say. I'm gotta take it back now.
African Americans, continental Africans, and Afro Caribbeans are all owed the same reparations. The U.S. government is not the only entity that will be responsible for paying African American reparations. The United States did not exist until 1776, meaning they would only be responsible for the last 90 years of it. Historically, Afro-Latinos,
No. Okay, that's gonna be a talking point. I gotta break this down. The thing is that, yeah, America started, and we all understand that there was slavery prior to America. We know that. But the thing is that, and shout out to, I always have to give my credit to Dr. Claude Anderson, all right? He was really the main one waking this up generations ago. The wealth, okay? The wealth, the labor, the free labor that generated the wealth. We cannot, I always bring it back to that. The wealth, okay, from the 13 colonies, then they became America, that still stayed here. Okay, the wealth didn't go anywhere. Yes, the government changed, and the people who ran the 13 colonies came together and formed the United States, but they still ran the same territories, they still ran the same businesses, they still ran the same slave trade, they still owned the same wealth. So we're not going to go, well, hold on, it ain't always been to America, so we got to go past America. No, we ain't doing that. No, the wealth that was generated from slavery, America inherited that wealth because it was built off that wealth. We're not playing these games.
African Americans, and Afro Caribbeans did not have recognized ethnic identities. Our ancestors were categorized as Negroes and trafficked between the continent of the United States, the Caribbean, and Latin America as property. As a singular group, we are all owed by the same entities. We are all owed by multiple countries, insurance companies, banks, slave owners. The transatlantic slave trade is also directly connected to the colonization on the continent and the Arab slave trade, but stay tuned for part 2.
Well, he makes a point. We are owed by, different banks and businesses and insurance companies and all of that stuff. We as foundational Black Americans are owed that. You can't make the same argument for Black people in Mexico. How was a Haitian gonna say that they are owed reparations from Chase Bank when the JP Morgan Chase got their startup from American slavery? These businesses and banks and corporations and industries got their startup from U.S. chattel slavery. So how are you going to go outside of the U.S. and say another person is owed the money from what was generated in the U.S.? How are you going to do that? Now, if you want to make the argument that as foundational Black Americans, that we can actually look at other countries for reparations. We can look at other countries in other countries. Oh, we can make that argument. Quite frankly, other people can't make that argument because you can't make the argument that anybody else enslaved you or had a hand in your slavery. All right. Or the businesses, the banks, all of the, you can't make that argument. We can make that argument. Okay, how are people from the African continent gonna make the argument that America owes them? Listen. How are they gonna make the argument that America owes them money for chattel slavery when they were complicit in complying and selling the slaves as a business? Okay. Yeah, because the business arrangement went sour on your end because you got the short end of the stick. Now you're going to say you are owed reparations for selling people? No. How are you going to make that argument? Now, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. Y'all coming in here and y'all going to mess everything up, and we cannot allow that. No. All of this twisted logic and y'all sitting up there acting like we doing something wrong. No, we are not allowing none of that. Hold on. Because I got to pull all of these clips up individually now because they sent up there was playing games. It was playing games, but it is what it is. It is what it is. This is why we have to delineate. This is why delineation is so necessary, which is why which is why they are so pressed about it. They are so angry and frustrated about it. And why when we calling out their cosplaying, because what they're doing is that now they're starting to understand that we're delineating. So they're trying to hide. They're using semantics and weird verbiage to hide their immigrant background. Okay. So that's what they're trying to do. Hold on. Let me remember this. This is what they're trying to do now.
I'm out here because I'm first generation African American. My parents are from Ghana. It took my mom over 30 years to get her visa. Okay.
Notice that they're saying I'm a first generation. Notice that they're all like, I'm a first generation African American. And I promise you guys, the whole plan is for them to say I'm first generation. And then when that becomes normalized, they're going to stop using first generation. I promise you guys, a lot of them are already starting to do that. They're going to stop saying first generation. And then they're just going to say, well, I'm an African American, or I'm a Black American. Okay, to hide their immigrant background. And this is why we're calling them out for that, because they can't represent us and we're calling them out for that. All right. Are y'all hitting that like button? Because they've been trying to sabotage us this whole evening and we can't allow it. All right. So now we got people who are upset. They are upset with the delineation of it. Listen to this.
In America are not trying to be Americans. Africans in America are not trying to be Americans. We're surviving in a country that forces you to adapt or get left behind. Have you ever heard of assimilation? You think we're cosplaying because you see us speaking English? We're not wearing our tribal clothing? Every immigrant group does it. You think the Chinese are eating duck feet at lunch? No. You think Italians came here and didn't switch it up? The difference is when we
No. There is a very big difference because we have a very unique culture here. Yeah, we understand in America, you're not going to be sitting up there wearing flip-flops and sandals to your business meeting. But y'all don't have to dress like us. But yet the things we do, the cultural things we do, from the Jordans to the chains to the do-rags to the bonnets, stuff that y'all don't got going on, to the nails, the way y'all got your hair cut. Y'all don't cut your hair like that in Africa. To the grills, to the loop earrings, all of that stuff. Everything we do, our hairstyles, our outfits, our accessories, y'all don't have to copy that. America's not making you copy that. Y'all doing it because you want to. Yeah, you're doing it because you want to, not because, well, you got to understand, we are forced to assimilate. Y'all not forced to wear no Jordans. Y'all not forced to wear Timbs. Y'all not forced to speak our slang. Y'all not forced to have our haircuts. Y'all not forced to wear our earrings. Y'all not forced to put on the nails. Y'all not forced to do none of that. But y'all doing it because you want to do it. You're choosing to do it. America's not forcing you to do it. Now, when you want to talk about, well, Chinese people, they're not coming over here eating ducks. Some of them are. Some of them are, and they're still engaging in their traditional history and culture. They're not trying to sit up there and act like they're not from where they're from. You all are doing that. You guys are sitting up there trying to act like you're not from where you're from because y'all not eating the same food, speaking the same language, doing none of the same. Y'all are trying to replicate us in every way possible. So don't do that. No. Because if that's the case, everybody would be acting like us to the same degree, and they're not. You are.
We go home. Yes, we become who we've always been. The language switches. The mannerisms come back. The food, the music. And let's be honest, most of us are code switching for survival. Because if we came to...
No, and I want you guys to understand that. That's what they're going to be calling it, code switching. And they're using that word disingenuously. Okay? Code switching. When we talk about code switching as foundational Black Americans, what we're talking about is going into a business setting, or which is at work or in a meeting or professional setting. And what we're saying is our urban dialect, the slang, and, yo, what's up, and all of that stuff. We will leave that at home because that's not corporate. That's not professional. Okay. So what we will do is not sit up there and completely change. But there are some things like, yeah, you probably wouldn't wear your Jordans to a business meeting. We have streetwear that we made fashionable. Yeah, you wouldn't wear that to a business meeting. You wouldn't wear a damn do-rag and chain. You wouldn't wear that to a business meeting. You would put on a suit and tie for the brothers, or you put on a nice dress for the ladies. That's what you would do. Okay. And then you get out there and you be like, hello, sir. Good morning. How are you doing? Not what's up, dog. You wouldn't do that. That's code switching. Okay. Because we're being more professional in a workplace environment. Okay. Because we understand, and culturally we get this because we've been raised like this. There is a time and place for everything. Okay. And you can't act the same way in every single place you go. So when you're at work, you have to act a little bit different than when you're at home. And we do this around family too. See, that's how we know y'all don't know what you're talking about. Because when we go around our friends, when you hanging around your friends, your buddies at work, your cousins or your siblings your age, you're able to have conversations that you probably wouldn't have, or you're able to speak a way you probably wouldn't be able to if you were in front of your grandma. When you were in front of your grandma, you act a little bit different, okay? Because your grandma has a certain standard of behavior. There's a certain standard of behavior when we're around our elders that we understand and we comply with. That's why when we're around our elders, if we do curse, we don't curse around our elders, okay? Because they don't want to hear that. And it's disrespectful to do that in their presence when they're around. So yeah, when you're around your cousins and your siblings or your friends at work or whatever, and you cursing and whatever the case is or whatever, it's a different setting and it's cool in that setting. Okay. But then when you at a family reunion and you around your auntie and your grandma and your older uncle and all that other stuff, you're gonna fit that behavior. Okay. You're gonna understand there's a different way to act in this setting. So that's what code switching is. Now at work, you got to do it on code because you're automatically going to be seen as ghetto. You're switching because you're in a different environment. What they are doing is they are trying to emulate another group of people entirely. That's not what we're doing. Okay. We're just doing, being professional for our work environment. You guys are doing everything you see us doing and then acting like you're not doing that. It's not code switching because nobody is making you do that. You're deliberate. You want to do it. Okay. Because you could be just as foreign and be fine, but you're not trying to do that. It's not code switching because nobody's making you wear Jordans. Nobody's making you wear loop earrings. Nobody's making you cut your hair in a fade. Nobody's making you do none of that. Nobody's making you wear grills or nothing. Y'all doing that because y'all want to. It's a very big difference.
School eating fufu or smelling like palm oil, y'all would have laughed. Y'all been laughing. We been African booty scratchers. We been go back to the jungle. So whatever you've been taught.
The African booty scratcher thing, and we keep going with that. Y'all keep making this. Y'all really making it seem like that the whole African booty scratcher thing was a bigger deal than it was. I swear to God, it really ain't. And I don't recall anybody telling Africans to go back to the jungle. That's y'all just making that up. Notice that they're going to start saying that now. Notice that that's their little talking point that they're going to start saying, y'all told us to go back to the jungle. Nobody said that. Nobody was telling y'all to go back. That sounds like something a white person would say, honestly. African booty scratcher, that was a childish little joke that everybody was telling everybody. Even Black Americans get saying that. Okay. Now this is how I know the African booty scratcher thing is y'all embellishing that because y'all making it seem like it's bigger than it ever was. Because when you tell one lie, it exposes all of it. Now y'all just making stuff up. You're making stuff up at this point.
About us, please unlearn it, because I made a post very unprovoked and then all of these people came for me because I said Africans are the first people, and I wasn't saying it just because I so happen to be African. Don't fight me, fight history. Don't confuse survival with imitation. We know who we are. We're not trying to tell y'all come on, find who you are, but don't disrespect it because your grandparents were also lied to.
What do you mean find who we are? We know who we are, ma'am. We know who we are better than you know who you are. And see, that's the thing they're getting upset about. Because my grandmother, I can tell you where my grandmother was born. Okay? When she was born and where she was born. I can tell you with her mother, where she was born and when she was born. I can tell you where her mother, where she was born and when she was born. I can tell you where her mother, where she was born and when she. I can keep just going and going and going and going. 1 generation, 2 generation, 3 generation, 4 generation, 5, 6, 7. I can just keep going. They can't do that. They can't do that. They don't keep the documentation and the records and all. They can't do that. Okay, we can go centuries deep into our lineage. They can't do that. A lot of their countries have not even been established and recognized for that long, to be very honest with you. Only like really a few generations. Real talk. They really have not gone back that far. They can't go back that far. We go back way farther than they can. So what we don't know where we're from. Actually, we know a lot better than you. We know a lot better than you. That's the honest truth of it.
Didn't erase your identity. We're still learning to hold on to ours while walking through customs and racism that is being passed on by.
And I want you to see, understand what they're saying is condescending and anti-black as hell. Even though she's trying to be like, yeah, and what the only difference is y'all honestly generally believe that y'all just better. Y'all believe, honestly, and y'all, this is what she'll tell the children. Oh, we know where we're from. They don't know where they're from. These are adults who will tell that to children, okay? That we don't know where we're from and they're more quote unquote cultured and they have real culture and we don't. No, this is what they'll tell them.
Our own people. So let's clear this up. We are not cosplaying. We're doing what every group does.
No. Y'all was just saying y'all know where y'all from. Why don't y'all act like where you're from then? Huh? How about that? Why don't you act like y'all got it like that? Why don't you act like where you're from? Why you keep acting like you're from here? We don't know where we're from and we don't really got no culture, but yet y'all trying to act like y'all from here and y'all us.
Adapting, surviving, blending in without disappearing. Africans in America are not trying to be American.
Okay. And then it plays back. Let's get to some of the super chats because boy, we got some more to go. Okay. Always been bet on black says, do you think the Democrats are behind the African reparations play as a way to sabotage FBAs? I think that even if they're not behind it, they do support it. I believe that they support it because this is just a scam like they always do. And this is something that just inherent, this just something culturally that they got to get rid of. But I do think that they do have a hand. Okay, or they do support it. They will support it. I can't say that. Thank you. Bruce, hey, it says, nope, FBA for, hey, I appreciate that. FBA first. Hey, look, I appreciate that. We going to get our reparations. Thank you. And we not letting nobody else mess that up. April says, hold on, Foundation Black American only delineation. Yeah, we're not doing that whole African scam thing. No, we are not doing that. Y'all not about to mess this up. Okay. Y'all not about to do that. Okay. Dakota Jenkins, since we're in the African Union now, will Africa break us off some land? Good question. Citizenship, natural resources, or are we still Akadas? FBA hashtag FBA hashtag Freeman. Great question. Notice, are we getting dual citizenship? Do we get some type of resources? Even if y'all not gonna give it to us for free, are y'all gonna cut us a special deal or something like that? Oh, do we still got to go through all of the red tape and all of that stuff that y'all have been having us go through? No, yeah. You see that? Do you see that? Now, they keep saying that they're not cosplaying, quote unquote. They're not cosplaying us. Yes, they are. Now everybody's being all like, hold on, I'm a descendant of slaves. Everybody's doing that, trying to act like us. Look at this.
This whole big trend of foundational Black America. and American descendants of slavery? Why is this a thing? Why are we at war with this thing? If nothing else, I guess I would be an American descendant of slavery. Did y'all know that slavery started in the Caribbean before it came to America?
What does that matter? Don't matter. Don't matter. That doesn't matter.
Those slave ships used to stop on what's now considered the island of St. Vincent. Did you guys not know that there was slavery also in Jamaica, Panama, Cuba, Venezuela, Haiti, Nicaragua?
See, and this is one of the things that we got to talk about. This is why the whole thing with the African Union is messing us up. This is why the thing where the African Union is messing us up, because this is not about quote unquote reparations for the whole concept of slavery. This is about our enslavement in this country. This is what we are fighting against, because with the whole thing of, well, hold on, there was reparations in Haiti, there was reparations in Nicaragua, there was slavery, there was also slavery in Mexico. Hold on, there was slavery in Mexico, so we got to give them some reparations. Okay, there was slavery over here, there was slavery over there. Then what's gonna happen with that is that that's gonna broaden the conversation. And then next thing you know, you're going to have a whole bunch of people be all like, hold on, technically, I was slaves too. Then they're going to say there was slavery. Hold on, wasn't there slavery in Asia? Wasn't there slavery in Europe? Come on now. So everybody was a slave at some point, weren't they? No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. No. Okay. We're talking about the United States of America and what the United States of America owes. You're bringing up all these other countries. That's irrelevant. That's a mute talking point, because we're not denying that they've gone through slavery. Okay. We're saying that their slavery over there is not our slavery over here. That's the truth. And they know that, which is why we're not in CARICOM. Dun, dun, dun. Which is why CARICOM is fighting for reparations, and we are not represented in CARICOM. CARICOM is not advocating for our reparations because we are not a part of the Caribbean, because they understand that there's been a difference. They have delineated, CARICOM has delineated from us, which, truth be told, is the way they're supposed to do it. I'm not really mad at, truth be told, I'm not upset with it. I'm not mad at it, truth be told. Okay, because it's not the same. Now they can be doing some more to help us out, but all right, okay. But truth be told, it's not the same, and everybody else knows that. So we're not gonna play the, oh, y'all didn't know there was oppression over here, there was oppression over here, there's oppression over here. That ain't none of that stuff relevant. All right.
Belize, Guatemala, and that we were all on the same fucking slave ship, but some of us got dropped off at different ports. But as I stated before, the slavery prototype was from the island of Barbados. It started there first before it even came to America. And now I have people in my comments telling me that, oh, I'm not black, and that all of my I can't talk on black men. I can talk on y'all motherfuckers because I date y'all, because I'm black too.
Brothers, I gotta say, no, notice she said she can talk on black men because she dates us. That's the first thing she said, not that she's black. Notice that the first thing she said, I can talk on y'all because I date y'all. This is what happens when, and we was just having lives on the For the Culture thing about the interracial dating, because it allows them to feel very comfortable speaking on us, speaking like they represent us, and acting like they can speak for us. This is exactly why, because y'all letting people into the juke joint, just like in the movie Sinners, and then they thinking they can run something. I can speak on y'all because I date y'all. That's the first thing she said. Oh, and I'm black too. Notice that. She caught herself and like, I can speak on y'all because I date y'all. Oh, and I'm black too. That's not how a FBA sister would say. I wouldn't say I can speak on black women because I date them. Oh, and I'm black. No, huh? That's a weird thing. Why do you even have to bring up dating unless you feel like you're not black? Because you understand you just quote unquote dating black men doesn't give you the right to speak on black men or the community.
So let me give y'all some history because y'all are a little confused between ethnicity and race. So let's talk about that first. So, as a child born in New York at Harlem Hospital, can't get no blacker than that. Today I took out my
Can't get no blacker than being born in what?
weave. If you go to my other video, you saw me being unbelievable. I took off my weave and I got me a wrap, a doobie. If you know, you know. Black. I got a whole weave up in my hair, black. Not like white people don't wear weave, but we're not talking about them. I'm talking about me and my blackness, and y'all telling me that I'm not black enough. So, in Harlem Hospital, Black Hospital, where I was born in 1970, my birth certificate says that I am a single female child, H for Hispanic, because Latino was not a thing. Latino was a new term. So I guess Latinos are processing along the same way as black people. Because you used
No, because in 1970, if you were black in the 1970s, you would have that on your birth certificate. You would have black, you would have maybe Negro. Some birth certificates are different. You would have that, or you might have Negro, you might have African American, you might have colored on your birth certificate, but it would specify your race on your birth certificate. The fact that she said, oh yeah, it's H for Hispanic. No, you are either a white Hispanic. I'm talking about on paperwork, you're a white Hispanic or you're a black Hispanic. Notice she didn't say a race. She's telling us we don't know the difference between ethnicity and race, but all she said was in ethnicity. Okay? Because being Hispanic is not a race. So she's not going to say more than likely, and this is how these Hispanics identify, more than likely on her paperwork, she is a white Hispanic. That's what her paperwork says. She's just going to say Hispanic. Oh, because, Latino wasn't a thing. No. What did it say before then? You see, notice the trick bag. Notice the trick. Now she's going to deny the fact that it probably says white. And more than likely, she's probably been identifying as white her entire life. She probably got white all through the job applications, all through school applications, all through everything, on her driver's license and all that.
to be Negroes, then you were black, then two other things now. Well, colored, we're not going to go through it. Now African American. But this term FBA got y'all losing your motherfucking minds. Because slavery was started in the Caribbean before it even came to fucking America. We were enslaved just as you. We all fought for to make it where we are. Some of the greatest civil rights activists have been of Caribbean descent, like Shirley Chisholm, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Kwame Ture Stokely Carmichael, aka Stokely Carmichael.
Notice that too. Notice that this has been a thing that they've done, because when we say, what have you guys done as far as the diaspora to help us? We've been helping you guys. What have you guys done? Now they're trying to really use FBA icons as their own icons. So notice they keep saying that about Malcolm X. And she's not the first one. I keep seeing video after video after video. They're speaking on Malcolm X as if Malcolm X was born in Grenada. Malcolm X was born in America, okay? Nevada specifically, all right? His father was foundational Black American. His mother was Grenadian, and that doesn't make her bad. That's no problem or disrespect. He didn't grow up with his mom. He said so himself. He grew up with his sister, who is a foundational Black American. He learned from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was a foundational Black American, and joined the Nation of Islam full of foundational Black Americans, and then became Malcolm X from Malcolm Little. Okay? And he advocated for foundational Black Americans, all right? That's who he was. And now they're trying to sit up there and be all like, well, Malcolm is of Caribbean descent. No, y'all don't get the right to claim Malcolm. Y'all barely get the right to claim anybody else, to be honest. Because it's not like these people were former activists in their homeland and then brought that energy over here. They had to come over here because y'all wasn't moving. There was a few individuals, Kwame Ture, he wanted to mobilize. Y'all wasn't moving back in Trinidad. Y'all bring up Marcus Garvey like Marcus Garvey didn't shit on Jamaica. Like he said y'all wasn't doing nothing, and y'all still really ain't. Huh? Come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? Y'all not gonna sit up there and make our activists and icons Caribbean so y'all can look better? No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't lie on our brother like that.
Maya Angelou of modern day Maya Angelou. So Caribbean people have played a significant role in the advancement of FBAs. And there are many that I haven't mentioned, but I'd be more than happy to do a list.
You know,
but I don't know why.
Okay, that's it. Now, you know what's interesting about her and Hispanic women like her is they're very deceptive because you can tell they do have some black in their DNA. They do have some black DNA, but they're not really black, or they can pass for not being black at all. These are the type of people who will say, well, hold on, I'm a mix of this and this and this and Spaniard and native. And when they say native, they don't mean the black ones. They mean, yeah, I do have a little bit of black. These are the people who play 3-card Monty. These are the Cardi B's of New York, because Cardi B does this a lot. And Cardi B also comes from New York. There's a lot of Hispanics that do that. Cardi B will go around saying the N-word, nigga, all she want to. And then when she goes to a Latino festival or a Latina award show, is, oh, shout out to the Latinas and oh, y'all drop that black immediately. Y'all drop that black immediately. And then when people be all like, okay, well, if you're not Latina, if you're not black, why are you saying the N-word? Then next thing you know, she'll pick out her hair and wear an afro, because Cardi can grow an afro. So these are people who get like somewhat black features. So their hair can actually fro up. They can grow an afro, but really, they're not really black like that. They got just maybe some black DNA or features or something like that. And they've been using that so they can kind of pick and choose when they want to be black. So when they're around their family, then, oh, it's Latina. Okay. And then when they want to speak on black people, oh, no, I am black, Happy. I am black. I say, I am black. You can't say I'm not black. I am black. Oh, no. No, we're not going to let y'all do that. We're not going to let y'all do that. Y'all get to pick and choose no longer. No longer. And this is what the cosplaying we talking about. This is the importance of calling this stuff out, because this is the cosplaying that we are talking about. They will come over here, speaking of Caribbeans, they will come over here and they will be all like, well, I'm black. I'm not cosplaying now, but I am black. I'm black just like everybody else. And then they will come out as if they can speak for us. Do you guys remember this? This happened a few years ago. Someone who's also Caribbean, okay? Someone who's also Hispanic. Look at this. Remember?
To testify on topic.
Coleman Hughes, he was invited at a reparations hearing speaking on foundational Black American reparations, and he's not a foundational Black American. Coleman Hughes is of Caribbean descent, of Puerto Rican. So Coleman Hughes, as a Puerto Rican, he's going to sit up there and act like he can represent foundational Black Americans. And this is why we saying we got to call out these cosplayers, because what they'll do is say, hold on, I'm not cosplaying. And then a white person put a microphone in their mouth. Well, I don't think we are old reparations. I was never a slave.
As important as this one. Nothing I'm about to say is meant to minimize the horror and brutality of slavery and Jim Crow. Racism is a bloody stain on this country's history, and I consider our failure to pay reparations directly to freed slaves after the Civil War to be one of the greatest injustices ever perpetrated by the U.S. government. But I worry that our desire to fix the past compromises our ability to fix the present. Think about what we're doing today. We're spending our time debating a bill that mentions slavery 25 times, but incarceration only once, in an era with no black slaves, but nearly 1 million black prisoners.
No, because you can't. No. This is why we got to delineate, because they will come up here, and this is why we ain't got nowhere. This is why we have not gotten anywhere. Because when we have a plan, when we have an agenda, we'll have one of them come up and they'll be all like, hey, as a African American, I want to say slavery is in the past and y'all don't have to worry about it no more. And then you'll have to be like, see, you know, a black guy said that we don't have to worry about reparations anymore. So, yeah, I mean, he is a black, like you're a black. So we got to listen to him. You know, Candace Owens, she's a black, like you're a black. And Coleman Hughes, he is also one of the blacks. So just the blacks are telling us not to pay reparations. So, of course not. Why would we do that? They're black and the blacks have spoken for themselves. No. Because you aren't going to go to CARICOM and say, well, nobody's a slave in CARICOM. You're not going to go over there and say that. You wouldn't dare. But you're going to come over here and be all like, well, no, let's not focus on slavery. Let's focus on prisoners who are, when it comes to prisoners, all of the prisoners are not FBA. He's not advocating for FBA prisoners. He's advocating for everybody. So no, we're not doing that. And then you couldn't do anything for black people. So all of this is now reparations is prison reform. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
A bill that doesn't mention homicide once at a time when the Center for Disease Control reports homicide as the #1 cause of death for young black men.
How would you give reparations for homicide? How would you give I want to understand the math here. People have been killing people for a very, 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 very long time. How do you calculate giving reparations for homicide? How do we do that? Okay, this is just really to derail the whole reparations conversation because you're bringing stuff up that's not even practical.
I'm not saying that acknowledging history doesn't matter. It does. I'm saying there's a difference between acknowledging history and allowing history to distract us from the problems we face today. In 2008, the House of Representatives formally apologized for slavery and Jim Crow. In 2009, the Senate did the same. Black people don't need another apology. We need safer neighborhoods and better schools. We need a less punitive criminal justice system. We need affordable health care. And none of these things can be achieved through reparations for slavery.
Man, see, this is why I'm telling you, this is why we got to delineate. And you saw Karen Bass sitting up there agreeing with everything with her Latino ass. All of these Latinos coming over here messing up our reparations. And y'all wondering why we ain't protesting against ICE? Y'all wondering why? We sitting up there waving goodbyes, y'all getting deported, because this is what y'all been doing while y'all was over here. Now when ICE comes, like, come on, guys, we got to fight against ICE. We all like, actually, hold on. Let me tell them where you at, because this is why. All of these damn people of Latino and Latina descent are coming over here talking about, well, you can't get reparations. What we really need is we need to fix that park in the community. That's what we need. And we need prison reform, okay? We need marijuana relief. No, we don't. And you cannot speak for us.
Nearly everyone close to me told me not to testify today. They told me that even though I've only ever voted for Democrats, I'd be perceived as a Republican and therefore hated by half the country. Others told me that by distancing myself from Republicans, I would end up angering the other half of the country. And the sad truth is that they were both right. That's how suspicious we've become of one another. That's how divided we are as a nation. If we were to pay reparations today, we would only divide the country further, making it harder to build the political coalitions required to solve the problems facing Black people today.
Man, let's be divided. I'm cool with that. I'm cool. I don't want to be around them niggas. No way. You tell me giving me reparations, the reparations that's owed to me is divisive. I'm 100% down with that. Yes, I'm 100% down with that. Reparations would only divide us further than what? We are literally the most segregated people, period. We are already the most divided people, period. We are already the most oppressed and subjugated people, period. And our threat is to be segregated even further. Then okay, fine then. It would only segregate. So that means y'all want proximity to whiteness. That's what you want. You don't want to make your zaddy upset. You don't want to make them upset, the dominant society more upset, because it's not like we close to them right now anyway. But you just don't want them to be mad. I'm cool with them being mad. And see, this is the problem, because as foundational Black Americans, we're fine with them being upset. We're fine with them being mad. We're fine with that. Okay? With them being, we already understand every single thing we've ever fought for has made them mad. Okay, us leaving slavery has made them mad. Us fighting for civil rights has made them mad. Us fighting for reparations is making them mad. We are fine with making them mad. It's them over there who worship white supremacy and worship them and believe in white Jesus and all of that stuff, who feel some type of way about making them mad. We don't. You talk about some division, hey, like that's forward. Okay, you just making it sound better to me. We're gonna play a little bit more of this.
We would
You want to talk about why cosplaying is so dangerous? This is why.
Insult many Black Americans by putting a price on the suffering of their ancestors.
Man, go to CARICOM and say that. You can't come here and say that.
And we would turn the relationship between Black Americans and white Americans from a coalition into a transaction, from a union between citizens into a lawsuit between plaintiffs and defendants. What we should do is pay reparations to Black Americans who actually grew up under Jim Crow and were directly harmed by second-class citizenship, people like my grandparents.
Yeah, people like, no. See, notice that. They don't mind getting paid. They just mind us getting paid. They won't have a problem with reparations. I want to end it right there. They wouldn't have a problem with reparations if they can be included. If it can include them, if they can say, let's just change, let's alter the timeline of when we go with reparations, and they're fine. If they say, well, reparations really that starts in the 1970s. Oh, they would love that. Oh, that's when my parents got here. That's when my grandparents got here. Oh, that's fine. That's perfect. Oh, no, we got to go back to the 1800s. We got to go back to slavery. Oh, well, that's a very, very long time ago. I don't know if we should go back that far. Let's not really do that. I don't really agree with that. You see that? Do you see that? Okay. You see that? No. That's why foundational Black American, that word is so strong. That's why that word and verbiage is so strong, because other people can't sit up there and be all like, well, I'm a Black American. I've been here for generations. Have you been here from the beginning? See, foundation means the beginning. You have to lay the foundation to everything. That means the beginning. We are the origin of America. Okay. They said they're the originals. We are the originals. Okay, that's us. We are the originals here. So that's the thing. They can't say that. They want to say, well, we've been here for as long. You have not been here. You can't verify you've been here from the beginning. That's the point. That is the point. We can. This is why we got to make sure we delineate. Okay, because they'll come up here and they'll say, well, as a Black American, reparations is fine if I can get some. No. And because we're doing that, they're sitting up there now. They calling us a whole bunch of hate groups and all of this stuff. Now they're twisting what we're saying, because FBA, we've been just doing what we doing and winning the way we supposed to. Look at this.
We need to.
You got this lady out here. Lord have mercy. Look what she had to say.
We need to talk about the rise in Black American nationalism and the Black American nationalist to white supremacist pipeline. Yes, white supremacist. So firstly, we've seen the Jay Versace tweet that's been resurfacing, and in response, I've seen like quite a few Black Americans make videos about that and say that you can always tell an African apart from an African American. Y'all are not like us, etc., etc. And before I even get too deep into that, I really want to ask you guys, what is the purpose of making that distinction? Why are you guys fighting so hard to make this distinction in 2025? Don't tell me that it's reparations, because that's a really stupid answer.
And I just proved, and that's why I played the thing with Coleman Hughes first. I just proved that we got to do that specifically for reparations. And let me say this. There are, of course, we do have DNA, and our genetics is very strong. Africans have very strong genetics, and so do foundational Black Americans. But our genetic makeup is very different. For the people who are saying, you guys look African, okay, here's what you guys say. I want you guys to follow this and take this out this live. Follow me with this. When they say we look African, tell them this. All Africans don't look the same. Somalians don't look the same as Sudanese people. Sudanese people don't look the same as Nigerian people. Nigerian people don't look the same as Ghanaian people. Ghanaian people don't look the same as South African people. All Africans don't look the same. You can easily point out in somebody and be like, oh yeah, I can tell he's Somalian. Yeah, you look Ethiopian. Yes, you look Nigerian. So if all Africans don't look the same, who do we look like? Just ask them that and watch them. Their brains are they're probably going to faint. If all African, because if we look like Africans, because Africa is a very big continent with a lot of countries, who do we look like? Okay, name the group of people that we look like, because they all don't look the same. So which one of them do we look like? Who? Okay, let's be honest. You're saying some of us, oh, I can't, y'all can't tell, y'all can't tell. Come on now. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. No, a lot of us can tell. A lot of us can tell. Now, there are some who just genetically, they might look a little bit more like our phenotype, and that happens. That happens. But if you send up there making it seem like there's no difference, come on now. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Because then when we point a mirror in front of y'all face, y'all get to acting all offended. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do that.
And just to speak to that point, Africans are very diverse looking people. Yes, there are people you can look at them and tell they're African, just like you can look at some people and tell, oh, okay, that's a Black American person. But if you go and get Africans who were born and raised in America or who moved to America at a very young age, you probably will not be able to tell. Most of you cannot, because people can't tell with me. It's literally not until you say something or until somebody sees your last name that they're like, oh. And that honestly kind of brings me to my second point of this whole thing of Africans are cosplaying Black Americans. I don't really think you guys understand how silly you sound when you say this at times, but I think it really does speak to sometimes how Black Americans, when it comes to this particular subject, some of y'all can be a little bit narrow-minded in your thinking, because what do you mean we're cosplaying? If you're born and raised in a country, you're going to have the mannerisms of people in that country.
Okay, we're going to pause it. We're going to pause it for a second. Right? Here's the thing. Most of the time, if you're from the African continent, if you're an immigrant, first generation, we can tell. We can tell the genetics don't change depending on the region you're in. We can tell. The reason why we look different is because we have indigenous ancestry. We also have forcefully European ancestry, and then there is African ancestry in there too. So it's a mix of a lot of different things. And we've been through a lot. That this country has shaped us very differently. Okay. Now, there are Caribbean. I will give it this. I will say Caribbeans look more FBA than Africans do. Some Caribbeans can blend in much easier than Africans can. because in the Caribbean you had mulattoes and you had a slave trade and there was a lot of mixed breeding and stuff like that. So some Caribbeans can actually blend in much easier than an African. Africans tend to stand out like a sore thumb in many cases. And then even with the Caribbeans, you can kind of tell. There are certain phenotypes of the Caribbeans that you can tell, like, okay, well, that looks like there's certain facial features, facial features that you can kind of tell, yeah, that looks a little bit different, but their genetic makeup is different. So our genetic makeup in America is unique to us specifically because that's mixed in with certain European DNA, that's mixed in with indigenous DNA, that's mixed in with some African DNA. And then we had breeding farms here that was very different. So our genetic makeup is very different. Okay. The Caribbean genetic makeup is different. It's more similar to ours because they also had slavery and mulattoes and things like that. But a lot of times their stuff is very different. Okay. They have certain facial features and skin complexions and things like that. They're like, okay, yeah, we can kind of tell, but they blend in a lot better. African, and I'm not even saying that that makes y'all ugly. Y'all feel like I'm saying y'all ugly, okay? But let's be honest, we can tell. We can tell. We can tell. Okay, almost, yeah. We can very easily tell. Okay, we can very easily tell because y'all have been in the same region. All right. And so y'all literally kind of have looked the same for a very, very, very long time. Okay. Y'all have not been forced to mix and change and things like that. We're a mixture. Okay. So yes, when you look at a foundational Black American, he or she is going to look different from a Somalian all of the time. Okay. Just like they were going to look different from a Nigerian all of the time. That's not offensive. That's the truth. Now, I want to go back because she's talking about the whole thing with cosplaying. Look at this.
Speak to sometimes how Black Americans, when it comes to this particular subject, some of y'all can be a little bit narrow-minded in your thinking, because what do you mean we're cosplaying? If you're born and raised in a country, you're going to have the mannerisms of people in that country.
That would be true if we were the only people in the country. But you're born and raised in a country, yet you don't act like anybody else who was born and raised in a country. You're specifically trying to act like a Black American. That's the thing. And we're not the only people in the country, nor are we the majority of people in this country. But yet you're specifically looking towards our culture and how we behave and how we act. All right. It's not like I can't help it. No, you can help wearing Jordans. You can help wearing loop earrings. You can help wearing grills. You can help having the same haircuts and hairstyles. You can help the way you dress in your fashion. You can help the slang that you speak. Okay? Because nobody's making y'all say nigga. Y'all be saying nigga all the time. You, Cas, and that, all of them. Y'all be saying nigga. Nobody's making y'all do that. Y'all can help everything you do. It's not like, hold on, I was born here. Yeah, we know you're going to speak English, but you don't have to speak slang. You're speaking slang because that's what you want to speak.
Especially if you're raised in a country like America where things are typically just straight segregated by race. Like, let's be real. So it's like you're going to have and adopt the mannerisms of the people, you know, in your community, which for a lot of people who are African but born in America, that's going to be Black American people. Like, hello,
you low key, and she doesn't understand she did, but she just told on herself. Because yeah, you're acting like us. And then when we say you're acting like us, y'all say, no, we ain't. No, we ain't. We ain't acting like you. You just said it. Of course, you're going to act like us. Yes, you are going to act like us. And the thing is that we know that because y'all been doing it. We know that. Duh. Why do y'all deny doing it if that's the case? Yo, we've been known that. Y'all gonna act like us. The same way if we went over there and had children a few generations later, they gonna act like y'all. We know that. Y'all the ones sitting up there just lying for no reason, acting like, hold on, we ain't acting like y'all. We ain't acting like y'all. Well, you're not acting like where you from. You just admitted that you're not acting like where you're from. And that is the point. You're not acting like where you're from. You're acting like you're from here. That is the point. So the whole, yeah, we're cosplaying. No, we're not cosplaying. Well, you're not acting like where you're from. You're deliberately trying to act like you're from here.
And thirdly, which I think is honestly probably the most egregious, is I saw a Black American woman on here who was trying to say that what? She said that Africans, Latinos, and immigrants are the new colonizers. That's quite literally the term that she used. She says that Black American people and she included white Americans. She said Black American people and white American people who've been here for hundreds of years, whose families have been here, who came over from Germany and Ireland, who built this country. They built this country, and now people are trying to come over here and force their customs on them, etc., etc. And I saw her in the comments literally liking comments saying white and Black Americans need to stick together. Like, do you see where it's not okay? Like, first of all, do you know what a colonizer really is? Like, let's not use that term lightly. Like,
now what they're doing is they're mimicking the behaviors of colonizers. They're mimicking their behaviors. Now, are they as powerful as the Western colonizers? No, but they are mimicking their behaviors. And anytime we call it out, they try to bring up racism. Oh, no, y'all don't know what real colonizing is. Y'all trying to do it to the best of y'all ability. That's what African Union is trying to do. That's what Essence Fest is trying to do. That's what you guys are trying to do. But we're stopping you all from doing that. And the whole thing of her liking comments of Black America and white America sticking, I don't even believe that. That's them trying to push the narrative that we're trying to tie ourselves and work with white America. We're not trying to do that. We're just demanding respect for our lineage. And they're sitting up there making it, oh, y'all sound like the white man. Y'all sound like the white man. Gaslighting. I don't even believe she saw that.
if you are claiming that your family has been here for all these hundreds of years and all this other stuff, girl, you should know the real history of colonization in this country, and you should know the real atrocity that it was, and not try to compare people who are literally coming over here peacefully to try to seek a better life for themselves, the new colonizers. That's very audacious and nasty. Immigration is not perfect. There's illegal immigrants who do terrible things, but that is not the overwhelming majority of people. So for you to be using that kind of rhetoric, especially as a black woman in America, I have to say pause, like, come on. So again, I really just say all that to say, like, really, what is the purpose of this FBA movement? What is, like, why is this beneficial? And again, don't tell me reparations either, because what, you guys think that by separating yourselves from the rest of the diaspora in America, that you're gonna go back to the white man and say, hey, okay, it's us, we're the ones that deserve it, and you think that he's gonna give it to you? You're crazy. This goes for all black people in the diaspora, period. If you're not ready to take your reparations by force, it's not happening, period.
Well, okay. And see, with that type of disposition, yeah, we want you out the paint. We want you out our business, because we realize with folks like you, with folks like Candace Owens, with folks like Myron Gaines, with folks like Coleman Hughes, with folks like Brian Donalds, they will come up and say, I don't support reparations. I don't even agree with reparations. Why reparations? Ain't nobody, no reparations. Folks like that, folks like Obama, folks like Kamala. No, this is why we got to get y'all out the paint. Because, yeah, we understand it's an uphill battle, but it's going to be a lot easier and faster when y'all gone. When we get the tethers out our mix, it's going to be a lot easier. Because y'all will be the first ones to jump the line, and then y'all grab the microphone and say, well, hold on, I'm black, and I say that we don't deserve no reparations. No, no. And notice the fact that they keep trying to call this like we're aligning ourselves with white supremacy. They're coming out with stuff like that. I want y'all to look at this. Hold on, let me show you. They're making article. The FBA slander is for real. This is for real. We're gonna get into this a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna read it. Here we go. It says, lately, I have noticed that some, quote, respected scholars and media pundits have begun to associate the rise and prominence of the Foundation of Black America, FBA, and the American Descendants of Slaves, ADOS, as being rooted in the rising of awareness regarding how African American culture has been exploited and co-opted by people not of that lineage, but who wear blackness as a costume. I find this argument to be suspicious as this position is adverse to the facts and beliefs that the FBA and ADOS movements emerged as a mutation of anti-Pan-Africanist Pan-African sentiment by by individuals who promoted Pan-Africanism for monetary gain until it was no longer useful to do so. Tariq Nasheed, Yvette Carnell, look at them, okay? So when Tariq was sitting up there, when he was big up in Africa or whatever the case is, and y'all was talking about no dual citizenship, no. And when has Tariq not advocated for the lineage too? Yeah, he was looking out for y'all. Okay, and it's time for y'all to look out for yourselves. But he's always also advocated for the lineage of us being here. Okay. Then it continues to say Afrophobia, xenophobia. How is this Afrophobia? We're not Afrophobic. Afrophobia, xenophobia, self-hatred, Americanized nativist, African American tribalism. Really? Y'all want to talk about some tribalism? Militant integral, like all of this stuff, militant interrogationism, intellectual dishonesty, and adherence to white nationalist politics. That's because we're not focused on ICE. These sentiments developed in part due to said adherents having a surface level understanding of Black/African history and culture, and due to the inability and effectivity combating the Lord, sorry, hold on. Let me lean in a little bit more. Hold on. Where was I? I'm sorry. I lost my train to start. I'm going to start over. Okay. So it says the ability and effectively combating the ambiguous nature of anti-Black racism in America as a powerless group. They keep calling us a group. We're not a group. They keep calling us that as powerless groups unable to effectively challenge the forces that oppress them. They attack themselves or people similar to themselves. Okay. All right. So this is them talking about us. Oh, I hate this thing. Come on now. Let's get down. We're going to go over here. It says, this is easier. Thus, it is easier to attack similar to oneself as opposed to the entities responsible for the African American community's social, political, and economic quagmire. No, we still on their bumper. We still be calling white supremacy out. We've never stopped doing that, but we're also adding the tethers to the list of people we got to call out. We're not stopping that, okay? Because we'll call y'all out, and then we'll call out Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, all of them. So no. We will call out Biden, Trump, all of them. So don't play that. All right. It says, moreover, these attacks are rooted in surface level tropes of Black or African American cultural appropriation, such as who created hip hop or the ruin of the who ruined the Essence Festival. Okay. Notice that. Now I want to skip down a little bit. All right. Moreover, much of the rhetoric from the FBA/ADOS adherents has less to do with issues of lineage or advocacy for reparations, as numerous talking heads, Afro elite, they got me in here. They wrote my name in the article. You see that? Afro elite, Tariq Nasheed, Angry Man consistently engage in vile stereotyping of African and West African immigrants, while also engaging in baseless attacks of Pan-Africanism. For example, FBA/ADOS adherents consistently articulate a belief that Black immigrants are trying to, quote, leech benefits from African Americans, while African Americans live in a country in which Black children are being shot down by the police, where our people are dying from air pollution, where Flint still does not have clean water, and where activists are being locked up for their political views. These are the challenges that African Americans are facing. Yet the FBA/ADOS movement wants to make Pan-Africanists and Black immigrants the enemy. Make that make sense? No, look. You see, I want you guys to understand. This is what they're doing. I think Angry Man also has a YouTube channel, I believe. I'm not exactly sure who. I think Angry Man does have a YouTube channel. I think that's who he's referring to. I'm not really sure. Okay. Notice that there's a tie, because all we're saying is, hey, we're not letting y'all cosplay. We're not letting y'all mess up what we have going on. We're not allowing you guys to do that anymore. Now, all of a sudden, we're white supremacists, or we want to be white adjacent and stuff like that. Vile stereotypes. What vile stereotypes? What do I do? Okay. I'm very respectful to everybody. I'm very respectful. I let people call in. Sometimes y'all get irritated with how respectful I am, impatient I am. I'm very respectful. If you wrong, I'm going to address you and correct you. I'm not going to let you spew misinformation or disrespect about our lineage. Tariq is very respectful. Y'all see when he does his Twitter spaces, they be calling up trying to troll and be anti-FBA. And then when he says something, then all of a sudden, oh, that's so xenophobic. No, y'all come in on that type of energy. All right. Y'all come in on that type of energy. Y'all gonna call us xenophobic and disrespectful and all of this stuff, but y'all ain't gonna say that about the people who are saying that and wishing death on us. Hold on. Let me see. Let me show you guys. Remember this lady? Where was that? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on for 1 second. Where was this at? Remember this?
Me with my 40-something plus dollars an hour blood clot job. Talk to me, you fucking worthless ass motherfucking no good ass fucking Americans. That's why they keep y'all asses in whips and fucking chains. Y'all don't have no culture. Y'all don't have nothing. Y'all don't have shit. Tell me what kind of culture y'all have in this fucking country. Black Americans don't have shit. Y'all are fucking worthless, bum-ass motherfuckers. Like I said, get up every day, go collect fucking food stamps, live on fucking Section 8, and want to take the people them fucking food stamp money and go buy crab legs. You worthless motherfuckers.
Anything else? Stop signing me. I'm gonna drop you. Stop. Anything else? Boy, this is good TV. Anything else? Go ahead. The floor is yours. Cool. We crackhead.
Yes, I'm here, motherfucker, to build a better opportunity. I can't wait for Donald Trump to say.
Notice she said she's here. She's here in America. She's here in America to build a better opportunity. Something she didn't earn. She didn't earn the right to come here. Okay? She didn't earn that.
All you dumb black American worthless ass motherfuckers to fucking alligator Alcatraz. Goodbye.
Now, when we call out where she's from, and when we call out the dilapidation and the degeneracy of her homeland and the corruption of her homeland, then that's us being xenophobic. Oh, we should be focusing on the police brutality. Why are we attacking other black immigrants? Why are you attacking people who look like you? That's the talking point. That's going to be the talking point. They're not going to say anything about her. They're not going to say nothing about her. She's sitting up there, y'all worthless, y'all be food stamps and all of the stuff that she be doing. She probably on a whole bunch of food stamps. Y'all be doing stuff like that. And then when we call out the tethers, y'all going to be like, y'all ain't got to be so xenophobic. Y'all don't got to be xenophobic when we got to deal with stuff like this.
To Clan Reacts.
It's to the side.
Welcome to Clan Reacts. Is it straight? No, I can't see. Damn it.
It's like
Get out of here, Mexican. Before I beat you on camera. I'll assault you on camera. Don't tell nobody that I'm dating a Mexican, guys.
You should not wear these.
Don't tell nobody I'm dating a Mexican.
I'm not Mexican.
You are Mexican today.
I'm not.
Oh, so Myron gang, they sent up there. We got tethers running around in clan masks, wishing quite literal death on FBA. But the second we say something we bad, oh, now we xenophobic and now we alt-right. That's what they say. Or black MAGA. That's what they say. They be twisting that stuff up. They're not going to say, well, hold on. And Myron ain't one. He don't stand alone. You got them. You got other tethers be ranting about what culture they have that we don't have, how much better they doing than us all of the time. All of the stuff that they do. And then when we say, well, why don't you go back home and fix your homeland? Oh, y'all ain't gotta be so xenophobic. Why y'all gotta tell people who look like you? Y'all so mean. No. No. Him, his clan mask, all of his ashy ass tether friends can go back. All of them. Because all y'all have been doing, the tethers, okay, have been doing is coming here causing problems. All of them, whether that's Coleman, Hughes, Myron, Candace, whatever tether lady that was just on here, Brian Daniels, Obama, all of them can go back. And then if we say that, then that's against Pan-Africanism. Well, damn Pan-Africanism then. Damn that. If letting them come over here and assist white supremacy in our subjugation is your idea of Pan-Africanism, screw it then. Forget about it then. How about that? How about we just get rid of the whole thing then? That's why you don't see us sitting up there fighting for Pan-Africanism no more, because we got to deal with tethers and clan mass. And if we say something about that, then we the bad guy. Well, screw Pan-Africanism. I don't want to hear nothing about it no more. That's how we gonna go. That's what we're gonna do. We are not gonna focus on no Pan-Africanism, because y'all, the Pan-Africanists, keep this in mind, they don't say nothing about the tethers. It would be different. I could give it a little bit of some. I could somewhat see if the Pan-Africanism were a slightly fair, but no, they will tell us, oh, y'all better not come to Carnival. Carnival is for the Caribbean. Oh, they'll tell Michael B. Jordan, y'all better not touch nothing. The Jorvay, y'all better not do that. That's cultural appropriation. Oh, y'all better not say nothing about that. That's cultural we can't touch nothing they got going on. They can sit up there and they can have stolen valor, steal our culture. Sitting up there talking about hip hop is part of the Caribbean and hip hop is Puerto Rican. They can say stuff, lie on our history all of the time, call us pretendians, say we don't know where we from, call us Akadas, Jareers, slave babies, all of that stuff, say we don't have no culture or our culture is degenerate. They can wear clan masks and they can get on political platforms and say that we don't deserve reparations. And if we say something that's against Pan-Africanism, screw Pan-Africanism then. I don't want to hear nothing about no Pan-Africanism, because the Pan-Africanists, y'all gonna be quiet as church mice. Y'all gonna be silent. So silent you can hear a pin drop in a room. And then the second we say, well, why don't y'all go home? We ain't worried about ICE. ICE not our problem. Y'all need to go home then. Oh, no, here comes the Pan-Africanists running. No, y'all white supremacists. Y'all sound xenophobic. Oh, you ain't gonna say Myron Gaines, the one wearing the KKK mask, is a white supremacist? You're not gonna call him out, but you're gonna call me out for saying he needs to go home? Yep. Oh, hell no then. Forget it then. Forget it. We don't care no more. You're not gonna sit up there and finesse us for eternity. No, we're not doing that no more. Forget about it. And they will twist our words. They will twist our words and make it seem like we're supporting white supremacy. Look at this. And normally I don't even play stuff like this, give these people the time of day, but look at this. Look at this.
Period. Let me say this again. European culture is so foundational to FBA culture that if you take away the European culture from FBAs, they have no culture. See, you can take away the European culture that Africans have assimilated to, and Africans still have a culture. African culture, right? They got that tribal shit. If you take away FBA's culture, if you take away European culture from FBA's, we become cultureless. Now, we are an amalgamation of hundreds, if not thousands, of different tribes. But, we're a brand new breed of human. We're FBAs. We're not a single tribe. We are an amalgamation of hundreds, if not thousands, of different tribes. That makes us a brand new breed of human. And being a brand new breed of human, our culture is what? European culture. Again, let me back up and play.
Our culture is not European culture. Okay. And this is something, and watch this. You're going to have a whole bunch of people who are starting to claim FBA, but they're saying, yeah, we're really more like Europeans. No, we're not. Okay. You're going to have COINTELPRO agents, because that's what he sounds like to me. He sounds like a COINTELPRO agent, so he can get out here and make it seem like we're trying to be Europeans. Look at this. He's gonna quote what I had to say in one of my, I think, TikTok lives or YouTube. Look at this.
Tariq Nasheed's son.
And that's a little insult they got from me. I'm Tariq's son. Oh, look Afro elitist Tariq's son. That's they little, I guess, jab towards me and Tariq.
If you don't believe me, Afro Elite teaches it. Like, yeah, our FBAs are a created group. Slave masters created FBAs. You might say, well, BSI, man, that's some white worship. No. I'm going to give you Afro Elite that I played in the beginning. Listen to Afro Elite now. He's going to say, yeah, European culture is our culture. It was given to us by the white man, the slave owners, and they created us. Listen, one more time. Listen.
It was only us, the descendants of slaves, that everything was stripped. Your name, that's gone. Your religion, that's gone. You only eat the food I serve you. You only wear the clothes I give you. You only do, you speak the language that I speak, that I tell you to speak. You practice the religion that I tell you to practice, or whatever the case is. You celebrate the holidays that I tell you to celebrate. All of these.
I told you, that's Afro elite Tariq Nasheed's son. The foundation of FBA culture is European culture. And if you take away European culture from FBAs, they become culturalists.
Things created something that was distinct and new.
What did he say? FBAs are what? A created group. He's literally saying the slave masters created FBAs, created us. Yeah, that's true. Listen.
Celebrate the holidays that I tell you to celebrate.
Listen to him say created. He's talking about FBAs, us. I don't go by FBAs. I go by we are the Americans, the only Americans, which he too goes by too in a moment. But listen, you're going to hear him say created. Well, who the hell created us? Our ancestors didn't create themselves. Who did? The slave masters, the founding fathers, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. They created us. Not only did they enslave us and give us European culture as our culture, but they created us. Listen to Afro elite say created. Who created us? Not our ancestors. Who created us? The slave masters. It is what it is. Listen to the word created.
All of these things created something that was distinct.
Say it again.
Practice the religion that
listen to him say created. Listen.
Or whatever the case is.
Listen.
You celebrate the holidays that I tell you to celebrate. All of these
created
something that was distinct.
Who created us? The slave masters.
Okay. Notice we're going to deal with that a lot. You're going to deal with that a lot. So he's taking small little sound bites of a back and forth conversation that I was having with somebody else completely out of context. Okay. And notice he keeps having to skip and pause and skip and pause and skip and pause. Notice I remember that. I'm like that. I didn't say that then. He's fast forwarding and then he's rewinding and he's fast forwarding and taking little edited sound clips to twist what I'm saying. Okay, I didn't say we have European culture. I never said we have European culture. You can't create something that was given to you. I'm not saying our culture is European. I said because of the conditions that we were in and we were stripped from what our previous cultures were, that we created something new. We didn't get this culture from somebody else. We don't have European culture. Hip hop is not European culture. Gospel music is not European culture. The blues is not European culture. Country is not European culture. Rock and roll is not European culture. Okay. None of our music is European culture. Soul food is not European culture. Our fashion, none of what we do at all is of Europeans. None of our stuff whatsoever is European culture. All of this stuff is brand new. I said because we got here, and the reason I was saying that is because they're all like, you're African. And I said, no, we had to restart. Everything we've done, we had to create from scratch. We are a new people, okay? Because we didn't have anything to go back to. We are the only group of people on this land who are the purest of America, because we didn't have another nation, another government, or anything like that we carried over here. We are the only group of people here that didn't carry anything, any other nation or any other ethnicity over here. We're the only group of people that was forced to completely strip everything away and restart. We are the start of America. We had an ethnogenesis. This is what I was saying, and that's what I meant, which is why he kept having to skip it and then go rewind and all of this stuff and play. Oh, he's saying that y'all got European culture. No, I didn't. No, I didn't say that. And everybody knows, you can listen to it and tell that's not what I said whatsoever. But that's going to be one of the things that they bring up. That's going to be one of the things. They're going to try to take little sound clips and edit it and be all like, well, he's saying that we all white. No. What do we do that's of Europe? What do we do that's European? There's absolutely nothing in our culture today. Our culture is so distinguished that white America has its own culture and black America has its own culture. Even in the country we live in, that we share with the dominant society, we still have different cultures. So what do you mean that our culture is from Europe if we don't even act like white people who live here? We don't act nothing like them. But they're doing this because they're going to make it seem like we're trying to be quote unquote white adjacent. Let me get to some of the super chats real quick, because there's still some more stuff I want to discuss with you guys. Okay. Shout out to Roger. Roger says, Afro, I was born same year, same city as her. He's talking about the Cardi B tether woman. Different borough, Jamaican hospital in Queens. When you said race ID on certification or certificate, sorry, I ran to the bedroom to look that up. It says nowhere does it ID my race. Okay, well, maybe different IDs are different, but I do know that my parents, their racial classification is on their IDs, and they were born in the 70s. I know that we got ancestors whose racial classification is on their birth certificates, whether that's Negro, colored. I got some ancestors who just got colored on theirs. Now, I know now they're trying to change it now, and they're trying to delete the racial classification. So maybe it is. Maybe all of them aren't the same, but for the most part, it is. And then even after that, you still have different senses and stuff like that where your racial classification is. But maybe it is different. Maybe it is. Chris says, they always saying we got to keep delineating. That's true. They speak a lot of French. Mother Tree and Moon says, I kind of want legal immigration to end as well. Listen, as of right now, the country owes us something. The country owes us. Let's be honest. We shouldn't even be focused on immigration right now. We got to get home straight first. We got to get what we need first. We have to get that first. Then we can talk about, we don't need to be on there. You bringing people over here and you still owe us. Okay, you still owe us. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen, but because of the situation with the Essence Festival, there has been some people who've been talking about boycotting a lot of the African businesses, in particular, the African braiding salons. All right. So I'm going to let her say what she had to say. Oh, hold on. I got to get rid of some of these videos real quick. It's too much. Hold on. I don't know if you guys have seen that. And I know for a fact the Tethers, the Democratic Shields, all of them, they watch me all of the time. They watch me all of the time. I can't get away from them. Okay. Everything I do, they send up there watching. Now look at this.
We should control the facts when we the one who bought it.
Now, what this woman is saying is, why should we make Essence FBA? We bought it. Okay. So when we say we're mad at Essence and we got an issue with the diaspora, is because a lot of y'all, when we called out Essence for all of the tethering that they were doing, you had a whole bunch of tethers coming up. Oh, well, we bought it. We bought it. Huh? So we can do whatever we want to do with it. Y'all coming over here with a damn sticking y'all chest out, puffing your chest out. Oh, we can do what we want. Y'all can't tell us nothing. We here to do what we want to do. We don't have to listen to y'all. We don't got to follow y'all. Okay. All right then. Okay. If that's how y'all want to play it.
How we should control the facts when we the one who bought it.
Black Americans, come here. Come here. This is a message for y'all. Especially my Black American women. Come here. Listen. I think it's time for us to show how strong and how powerful the Black American dollar is, since they don't believe us. I think it's time to boycott the braiding shops. That's what I think it's time to do. It's time to boycott the braiding shops. Stop going. We know how to braid. Let's braid our own hair. Support our own small businesses. Stop going to the braid shops. Teach them how to have some fucking respect, because they have none. Black American power. Black American dollar. They need us. We don't need them. Remember that. Do I wish there could be unity in a community? Absolutely. But that ain't gonna happen until they give us our fucking respect. And they've never done it. So, fuck all that.
boycott time. No more African braid shops. It's time to boycott the African braid shops. Stop going. Let's show them how powerful our Black American dollar is, since they think we can't control this fucking narrative. Since they think we got everything, let's show them how much we really fucking got. Black American power. Again, I'm gonna keep saying it. Like, follow, share, comment below.
Okay. Now look, there were some people who have mixed responses to that. Some people who do. Some people who were for it. Some people who are against it. What I say is this, and this goes for all immigrants, whether that's Asian businesses, whether that's Hispanic businesses, white businesses, all of that. You should not, and what we should do is get in the practice of doing equitable business. We do business only up until the extent that they do business with us. What happens is FBA, the FBA community, we have been doing more business with everybody else and patriotizing everybody else more than they have with us. Okay. So we'll go into a jerk chicken spot. Okay. And that's cool. I like jerk chicken. Jerk chicken, great. We'll go into a jerk chicken spot and we'll buy some jerk chicken and oxtails. Oh, that's delicious. Great food. Okay. But they won't go into a barbecue spot and buy no barbecue from FBA. You see that? Okay. They will completely work around. They will avoid our soul food spots and our barbecue spots and stuff like that. And we got little like bakery. They'll avoid that if it's us. Okay. But we don't have that same practice with them. Same thing goes with the Asians. We'll go to their nail salons and stuff like that, but they ain't coming to our stores. So we've been patriotizing them. And then what happens is that they feel like they get to come over here and brag. Okay. They have been bragging that, quote unquote, they are the winning team. Remember, we're not going to sit up here and lie about it. They've been out here sitting up there bragging as if they've been the ones winning. As if we need to be copying them. Let's not sit up there and play and act like they ain't been doing that. Remember this?
To African Americans, you cannot stand alone as a nation. Okay? That nation is taken. It's called Africa. The Essence Festival exposed a lot within the Black community for me personally, because while I was making a video about the cancel culture of Black people, there was a silent war going on within the Black community, and it's between the African Americans and the Africans.
Essence Fest isn't about all of the Black people in the diaspora. It's about Black Americans, all right?
Who are you? You are African before you are Americans. The Americans don't want you. They don't care about your history, because when Black people are in a room, any non-Black person cannot tell who's African or who's African American just by looking at us. Look at the population of the entire continent of Africa. You decide to remove yourself from the continent and stand alone. I remind you that when it comes to global platforms, Africans are actually winning. Like, I'm sure you know how to use Google. Africans are knocking it out. Like, you are literally fighting the winning team when you look like the winning team.
Okay. Do you see that? So they will come over here and they will actually start to believe their delusion. They will start to believe that they are the winning team and we need to be following behind them. This is stuff that they're literally saying, that we need to start following behind them, and they're the ones winning, and they're the ones doing great. They're the ones, quote unquote, getting it out the mud, and we got food stamps and we got this, and they don't need us and they doing better and ain't no real racism. So if the sisters are like, okay, let's be honest. Y'all wouldn't come over here and be able to do anything if it wasn't for us. This same thing goes with the Asian community. Very less with the Hispanic community. Do you know why? Because Hispanics make up a pretty decent sized population in America, and they can sustain their own economy to a degree. To a degree they can, right? Asians make up a relatively small percentage of America. So there's not enough Asians in the country to really sustain a very powerful economy like that. So they have to put their businesses in the Black community because they need the Black dollar, because it's not enough of them to do it alone. Do you understand? The same thing with the African immigrants. They have to put their businesses, their braiding shops, their restaurants, their jerk chicken restaurants, the Caribbeans and stuff like that. They have to put their stuff in our community because it's not enough of them to do it alone. So we have been the people to subsidize their economy. And because of that, and that's their way of being able to afford a house. That's their way of being able to afford to go to school. That's their way of being able to afford to live here. Because it's not enough of them to do it by themselves. They've always needed our help. And we've been doing it. We've been doing it just straight off the cuff of family and being together. We've been doing that gleefully. Okay. And then they will turn around after we've been helping them out their entire time. Mind you, they wouldn't be here without us. We've been doing that. And then they'll turn around and say, we the winning team. Y'all need to get like me. Y'all need to get on my level. I got this out the mud. It's been me who's been doing this. I got it. Why can't y'all get it? And this kind of had us look like you got it because I've been helping you. No, you ain't been helping me. You ain't been helping me. I can do what I want to do. I got it because I'm a hard worker and I got culture, and y'all don't got it because y'all lazy and got baby mamas and drugs. So at that point, it's like, oh, okay, maybe y'all need a good reality check. How about that? How about we give you guys a good if y'all got it like that and y'all the winning team, y'all don't need us. Y'all the winning team, okay, all right. So let's just step aside and let y'all do what y'all do, and let's see how far the winning team gets without us, because that's what they've been saying. And with that reality check, not that we want to do it, honestly, but with that reality check, y'all gonna get it together. It's like a parent. Parents don't really want to whoop their kids, not really. All of y'all who got kids or whatever the case is, y'all had to whoop y'all kids, y'all had to punish y'all kids. Y'all don't want to do it. But when your kid is not acting right, you got to discipline the child. And then after you discipline the child is going to learn, okay, I can't act like that. Okay? We've been having you guys run around like undisciplined children. And now it's time for us to sit up there and get y'all straight. So if kind of starving y'all out a little bit is what's going to get y'all straight, because I promise you the tether's going to be quiet. And let me tell you why the tethers are going to be quiet. The tethers are going to be quiet because the pain is going to be felt by everybody. How many of you guys have had siblings? If you guys have any siblings, raise your hand in the chat room. Older brother, older sister, younger brother, younger sister. If y'all have siblings, I want to know how many people in the chat room has siblings. All right. Because I'm going to make an analogy. Do you guys, now I have a bunch of siblings, right? How many times has one of your siblings done something and now all your parents are just pissed off? And now everybody in trouble. Everybody got to be in trouble because of that. Your brother was running around. He broke a glass. He broke a vase or something like that. Your sister she spilled some juice all over the kitchen or something. How many times have we did that? And now the parents say, you know what? Everybody got to go to bed. Okay, it's bedtime for everybody. Okay, give me the place. Now nobody can play. Now everybody got to go. So how many times, and there's a lot of people who got siblings, we know this way too well. And sometimes it was you, and sometimes I admit it. Sometimes it was me. Sometimes I mess it up for everybody. I'm sorry to my siblings. I am sorry. It was y'all more than me, but it was me. Sometimes I will take accountability. Okay, I'm not above that. Sometimes you mess it up for everybody. And then next thing you know, when you sit up there running around the house and not paying attention, when you throwing the ball in the house, your sibling is going to pull you down and tell you to sit down because your sibling is tired of getting in trouble for your ass. Your sibling, even if your sibling ain't, I've done broke a couple windows. I don't even recall a window anybody else broke. Now I've kind of been good, but I've broken some windows. I'm not gonna hold you. I was not perfect. I've broken some windows before and everybody got in trouble. So I am sorry for that. To my siblings, because my siblings do watch this, I apologize, okay, publicly for breaking the windows. All right. Now, when we broke the windows, my parents got mad. Now, not just me. Not everybody can't play. Now, can't nobody run around in the house. Can't nobody throw no ball in the house because I broke the window. So next time I pick up a ball, they sit up there looking at me like, hey, you better put that down before you break another window. Because when you break a window, it's going to cause everybody to get in trouble. So they start checking me for breaking the window. All right. So this is what's happening. When y'all all feel the pain, then you're going to have immigrants who are not necessarily tethers, but they're going to get on the tether's bumper because y'all don't want to feel the pain. See, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Sometimes you got to punish everybody, and then you got to allow the self-discipline to ensue. So if we get on the tethers, that's one thing. But if we get on all y'all going to start checking each other the way y'all been supposed to. That's how we doing it. Are all African braiding shops bad? No. Are all black businesses bad? No. Or African businesses or Caribbean businesses bad? No. Some of them are great with great people. And I hate this for you. I do. But just like with the whole breaking the window, everybody got to get it. And then when everybody get it, you going to make sure that your tether brother ain't going to break no window. And now we're going to live in a house where nobody breaks a window. How about, you see, because if you would have stopped him before it got to this point, we wouldn't have to do this to you. But now because you didn't, and he broke all these damn windows, now we got to get everybody. Okay. So that hey, I'm sorry. It's just like a parent. Everybody got to learn now. Okay. So you're going to do better now. I promise you, you're going to do better. So, hey, I agree. If this is where we at with the movement, then this is where we got to be. Y'all all going to have to feel it because y'all all need to learn. Ain't none of y'all been doing the way y'all supposed to been doing. Okay? But you got folk upset about it. Folk making videos. Look at this. Oh, hold on. That's the same video. I'm playing the same video. Hold on. Playing the same video. Ain't no more broken. Can we put some windows in the chat room? Let's put some windows because we want a tight sealed house with no broken windows. Can y'all put the window emoji in the chat room? I don't even know what the window emoji is, but I'm pretty sure they have one. Can we put the window emoji in the chat room? Ain't no more broken windows. We're not doing that. I had to learn. My siblings had to learn. So we all gonna learn. No more broken windows.
A lot of xenophobia happening in the black community within the diaspora, but there's been a lot of xenophobia happening in the black community within the diaspora, but most importantly, the supremacy happening in the African American community, and that's been very interesting to witness. But ultimately, the most interesting conversation that came from that is the "we're boycotting African braiding shops" conversation. If you don't know, there's a growing movement for African Americans to boycott African braiding shops. Ask me, what did African braiding shops do? Nothing, because the issue is not necessarily with them. But before we start here, let me give you the parallels of why I think this is so interesting. Be mindful that one of the cultures of America is to be self-centered, and it's ingrained into Americans of all sorts, including African Americans. It's
not. No. Now you gonna sit up there and call us self-centered? No, we not letting you get away with that. No, we are not. Talk about self-centered. You wouldn't be in America if we were self-centered people. The problem is y'all being self-centered, y'all being selfish. Look at the tribalism in Africa. You don't got, with all of the damn tribalism y'all got going on, y'all don't have the right to sit up there and call anybody else self-centered or selfish. We the only ones sitting up there sacrificing for anybody else. I'm not talking about just helping, because you can help somebody without sacrificing. We've been literally sacrificing to help you guys. That's a difference. It's one thing to give somebody $5. It's another thing to give somebody your last $5. That's a totally different thing. We've been sacrificing to help y'all out. And y'all want to sit up there and call us selfish when we say we ain't giving y'all no more money no more. No.
not meant as an insult, but that's just how it is. On one side, we're talking about boycotting African braiding shops as a retaliation towards something that they had nothing to do with, really, but we could not boycott companies that actually harmed us as a community. McDonald's, Starbucks, Lululemon. And to put a pin in that, to connect it to a different pin, just about 2 years ago, we were having a conversation about braiders. We talked about braiders being very unprofessional, braiders coming in late, braiders were just not up to quality. They were asking for too much money, right? $500 for knotless braids. I'm coming up in your house, your kid is there, it's making a lot of noise, you're late, da-da-da-da-da, you're not giving my refund. A lot of these conversations were being had by Black women of all sorts. However, in the comments, quite frequently, you would see people say, well, that's why I go to my African braiding shop, because they are this, that, and the third. They have been in the business for far longer, and they can learn new styles, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They were quite grateful to have that second option because the alternative was not working. And that's, you know, these, okay. Second.
Okay, listen. Now, I don't go to African braiding shops. I'm sure you guys can tell. I don't go to African braiding shops. I don't really know about that. I do know for a fact that there's been several complaints about African braiding shops for years. Okay. I've heard that from so many foundational Black American sisters. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. I heard that y'all braid too tight. That's the main complaint I hear. Folks leaving with traction alopecia because y'all braid to the bone. Y'all don't just braid the hair, y'all braid it to the skull of the person. I heard, and I've seen pictures, y'all be braiding hair to the skull start bleeding. I've been seeing that a lot. Okay, so let's not act like, man, without African beauty supplies or African braiding shops, y'all be great. I've seen a lot of pictures, y'all be braiding way too tight. That's number one. Number two, I've also seen that you guys or Black women complain that you guys are very disrespectful. Okay. And that you guys will charge too much, depending on how much natural hair she has or whatever. So let's not act like y'all the saving grace of Black women with braids. We not doing that. Come on now. And I don't even shop there or get my hair. I don't go there, but I've heard enough to know that y'all sitting up there trying to make it seem like y'all the saving grace of braided hair, and that's not the case.
Side is the reason as to why the boycott is happening. If you guys don't know, the boycott is happening because of Essence Fest. From my understanding, the Essence Festival is a Black American festival, right? It celebrates Black American culture, especially its history in America. Unfortunately, in an act that's so familiar about Black businesses being sold to other foreign entities or whatever, Essence got sold to a group of Africans. Basically, from then on, the Black American culture was dissolved out of Essence and it became something more resembling of Afro Nation, I suppose. And I'm saying I suppose to drastically show you the comparison really between African American culture and African culture, like, you know, you understand it went from point A to point B. And African Americans are upset, which for me is valid. It's reasonable. This was a celebration of your culture, right? Cool. And so let's put a pin in that right here. The plot twist, though, is rather than petitioning Essence, boycotting Essence, or even talking about how Essence sold out and this is an Essence issue, Essence needs to be an African American culture-based festival, the animosity was geared straight towards Africans. The entire pillar of capitalism was missed and skipped.
No, okay, all right, and this is another talking point. They're gonna be like, why y'all mad at us? What do we do? It was Essence. It was Essence who did that. No. Let me explain this. What Essence did is Essence is like the cherry on top of a problem that we've been saying. Okay, y'all been doing this with hip hop. Y'all been doing this with Juneteenth. Ever since Juneteenth became a national holiday, y'all been trying to Pan-African Juneteenth. Y'all was just doing this. Essence is one of many things, and that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay, because when we said, hey, Essence, y'all need to stay to its original source of being FBA, y'all was all like, oh, why? What's wrong? Why can't we have jollof rice versus jambalaya? We bought it, didn't we? And we buy it. We can do whatever we want to do with that. That's what y'all was on. When we were saying we don't like Essence, y'all came in and started playing deep. We wasn't even attacking y'all. We was calling out Essence for what Essence did. And then here y'all came in voluntarily offering them defense. So now we got to get on y'all. Don't make it seem like we looked at Essence and then we turned around and looked at y'all. Y'all came in and it was all like, oh man, y'all sound xenophobic to me. Y'all sound ignorant to me. I don't see the big deal. I don't see the difference. Why y'all tripping? We bought it. They can do whatever they want to do if they buy it. Okay, so now we on y'all bumper. Because y'all could have kept quiet, but y'all wanted to play defense. And now y'all playing defense for the losing team. So that's what y'all get. But this is a buildup on top of a lot of the other stuff that y'all been doing. But now listen to what she says.
By a lot of creators who talked about it, and instead they targeted Africans, which became a heated conversation between two parties. And this is where I refer back to what I said in the beginning, which is like America tends to be very self-centered. Because if I called my cousin right now who's been in the country for 20 years, who's a black woman who loves makeup, and I said, hey, what's Essence Fest? She's gonna say it's a festival and have no understanding that it's connected to Black American culture. Unfortunately, African American culture,
all of you all knew that Essence Fest was about foundational Black American culture. All of you all knew that. You gonna call your I didn't know that. I just thought it was a festival. Well, festivals have themes and purposes and are rooted in something. What is the festival rooted in? They can't people don't just have, hey, this is the festival of everything. No, festivals have themes. Festivals have a core. What is the core of the Essence Fest? And that's foundational Black American culture. Y'all gonna sit up there like, I didn't even know that. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Is not explored and shared and learned as it should be globally, even in the country. And so a lot of people, frankly, just didn't know that Essence was a primarily African American culture based festival.
Y'all didn't know that? Y'all didn't know that? They said they didn't know. Okay. My question is this. If you guys honestly didn't know that, why, when we told you, why did you guys get so defended? You guys got very defensive when we said, hey, you know, this is about our culture, right? You know, this is about foundational Black American culture. Why did y'all get so defensive and retort that? Y'all tried y'all best to be, no, it's about all Black people. If y'all didn't know, and we said, no, this is about our culture here, and this is where its origin stems from, y'all would have been like, oh, you know what? My bad. I didn't even mean to. I didn't know that. If you didn't know, y'all wouldn't get so defensive. So they get defensive and they play defense, and then when we call it out, then they play dumb. Okay, they play defense and dumb at the same time, acting like they don't know. Oh, I thought it was just a festival. A festival of what? I don't know. No, you do know. You know. All of them know. Okay, because that's why Essence said they're going to change it and make it centered around Nigeria. Why would they do that if they didn't know?
Is people would go and enjoy Essence Festival without understanding the background, so they'll just enjoy that there are Black people, Black foods, people are happy, people are having a good time, but they're lacking the nuance that it was an African American based festival. And so,
would you say something stupid like this about the Caribbean? Notice they don't say anything this stupid and dense. They don't lie like this about CARICOM. They don't lie like this about Carnival. They don't lie like this. They don't go to Carnival, the Carnival Festival, and be all like, I didn't know this was about the Caribbean. I didn't know that. I just thought it was a party. I didn't know it was about the Caribbean. They don't lie. Y'all don't go to anybody else's celebrations. Y'all don't go to anybody else's festivals. Y'all don't go to anybody else's nothing and say, I don't know where it even came from. I thought we was just all dancing. Y'all don't do that. But then y'all come to Essence Festival. Well, I didn't know it was about y'all. I just thought it was a festival for everybody. No. Y'all don't even try to lie with nobody else.
So rather than targeting these kind of conversations, these kind of questions, Essence, you shouldn't have done that. And to the people who bought Essence, this is what Essence is ultimately about. Essence should have never sold out, It was instead pointed towards Africans. And the conversation has evolved to now because Africans bought essence and made it African, we are no longer spending our African American dollars at African baiting shops. Also, special edition, there is some pressure from Kenya ultimately trying to puppeteer to get its hands on the African American dollar, which is very true, unfortunately. Which gets interesting because one of the people I follow often says that there are conversations you cannot have online, and I think this is one of them, because rather than focusing on, like, for example, the Kenyan government doing that, and the Kenyan government trying to manipulate itself into getting to the African American dollar, instead it's become a whole conversation about how Africa is asking for reparations, which they're not. How Africa is doing this, which they're not. Africa is a whole continent. It is like, it's populated by countries. We're not even talking about specifics. We're not even talking about an entire focal point. It's just become a conversation about, once again, xenophobia, and unfortunately African Americans separating themselves from every other Black demographic because of a lot of trauma, misunderstandings, and lack of communication and a bunch of other shit. And that's the entire conversation.
Man, don't let them gaslight you. They'll sit up there and play dumb. I didn't know, and y'all got trauma, and y'all xenophobic and everything like that. Okay. Notice, if you go to somebody else's house, just imagine this. You go to a friend, a co-worker's house, one of your friend's house. You go to one of their houses, and you break a rule. You walk in, and let's say you got your shoes on the carpet. And they say, hey, I don't like it when shoes are on the carpet. And you break one of their rules. What do? You apologize. Say, okay, I didn't know the rules. My bad. I'm sorry. And you take your shoes off before you walk onto the carpet, don't you? That's what we do. That's what we taught to do. We taught to, first off, even ask before we walk on the carpet. Okay. But let's say they did that and you say, hey, my bad. I'm sorry. That's what you would do if you were respectful and if you didn't know what the rules were. You would be respectful of that. If you put a drink, you put a drink, a bottle, you put a bottle down, and they say, hey, you got to use a coaster for the bottle. You say, oh, my bad, I didn't know. And then you use a coaster for the bottle. And you would apologize and keep on moving, right? But if I put my drink down on the table and they say, hey, you got to use a coaster for the table. It sound like you hating on me. Damn, you sound ignorant as hell. Why are you so xenophobic? Hold on. I thought you said you didn't know the rules, so I'm just now informing you of the rules, and you getting mad that I'm informing you of the rules, so you knew what the rules were. If you come in a place and you even accidentally disrespect the people, you're going to apologize and change your behavior. They're standing on this. They all this playing ignorant, we don't know, and y'all taking y'all energy and trauma. I would never go to somebody else's house and then walk on their carpet with my shoes on, and they say, hey, hold on, we don't walk on the carpet with our shoes on, and then say, well, you sound traumatized to me. Excuse me? I sound traumatized because I let you in my house and you disrespecting my rules. That's me being traumatized. That's what they're going to say. That's trauma from me. And let me tell you, they standing on it. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, hold on. They got to get this off the screen. They standing on it. And I'm telling you, they making a wrong move with it. They're daring us. Some of them at this point out here just straight up daring us. Hold on. Look at this, y'all.
You just see the videos where they were like, they're gonna boycott Africans in August. Can y'all do it now? Like me, if I was so passionate about something, I would never wait till the next month. Do it now. What's holding you? Do it now. You just see the videos where they were like, they're gonna boycott Africans in August.
And first off, the sister was specifically talking about the braiding shops. She was specifically talking about that.
Can y'all do it now? Like me, if I was so passionate about something, I would never wait till the next month. Do it now. What's holding you? Do it now.
Ooh, hold on. Okay. And then going through the comments, I looked through some of the comments. The comments are sent up there. They talking greasy in these comments. In the comments, they sent up there. They sent up there. People still buying Lululemon, but want to boycott the people that look like them. Oh, so we got to shop with y'all because y'all look like us? Boycott Africans. What did we do? Baby, they can't even boycott Walmart, Lululemon, and Target. First off, you better ask Target. Target desperately trying to get Black Americans to shop back up in there. Okay, and I don't even support necessarily, or I'm not an advocate for DEI, but I'm telling you, them target boycotts is hurting them. You can look and see the numbers. Them target boycotts is being taken very seriously. The other one I commented, are they going to stop wearing braids since we're separating fully? And I got blocked. No, we're not going to stop wearing braids. Oh, so okay. All right. Are we going to stop wearing braids? Another one over here set up there. The African or the diaspora wars is truly a one-sided beef. Caribbeans, African, and other Black immigrants get along beautifully. Not where you're from. Not where you're from. Y'all got tribal wars. Y'all got bazookas and grenades and AK-47s, chopping people down, kidnapping little girls and cutting people up, and all we see what's going on there. Don't sit up there play. Oh, we get along beautifully. No, you had to flee for a reason. Don't let them lie. They do not get along. Ain't none of them getting along. All of them beefing. All of them fighting. Y'all talk about a diaspora. Y'all want to see a diaspora war? Go to Africa for a diaspora war. Okay. Another one. I promise this Discord only exists in the internet. It's not a real life issue. You better ask Essence if it's a real life thing. They keep saying that. You better ask Essence if it's real life. Ask Target if it's real life. Right? Life? Come on. Ask Kamala. Y'all thinking we playing? Another one. What have we done? LOL, girl. I don't know. I just woke up today. Okay. All right. Look. Okay. Listen. You probably wouldn't have had so many people agree with it prior to this. But let me tell you something. Play this again. Hold on.
You just see the videos where they were like, they're gonna boycott Africans in August. Can y'all do it now? Like me, if I was so passionate about something, I would never wait till the next month. Do it now. What's holding you? Do it now.
Let me tell you something. You got some who deal. You got a lot of FBA who deal with tether fatigue, and then you have some who are a little bit more comfortable with you guys, who are less mad. At Africans and the Caribbeans and stuff like that, who don't necessarily care. All right. So some disagree, some are for it, right? But let me tell you something about all of us. I want to tell you something about all of us, the ones who are pissed off and got tether fatigue, and then the ones that don't. And let me tell you something about our culture. Listen very clearly. Okay. What y'all need to understand is y'all better not ever call our bluff. Don't do that. That's bad business. Okay. Oh, can y'all do it now? Ooh, you better be careful what you wish for. Don't do that. Don't do that. And now you saying Africa, you want us to boycott don't call our bluff now. Okay. Because we are people who don't like to be tried. Don't try us. Okay. That's pretty much saying what y'all gonna do about it. Now I don't really think y'all that's something we do not play with. Do not. If that's something that's deep rooted in our culture. Okay. We learned that from our parents. When our parents used to say, do it again, see what happened. I promise you we was never doing that again. Anytime our parents, our ancestors would do it again and watch what happened to you. We didn't want to find out what happened to us. We never did it again. We know not to try us. We know that. Y'all gonna learn the hard way. I'm trying to tell you. Oh, can y'all do it now? Oh, girl, what are you doing now? Oh, you really did just seal the deal on your fate now. You don't want to do that. First off, that's bad business. That's terrible business. You never encourage somebody to boycott your business. That's dumb. Target doesn't do that. Walmart doesn't do that. Anytime there's a boycott, they come out with a damn official apology. I would like to apologize on behalf of my employees that we didn't really mean to do that, and he's been terminated, and we did an internal investigation, and we are so sorry. They do not represent the values and beliefs of this company. They always do that, coming out with different apologies. Don't call ask Mexican OT. Ask Mexican OT. Mexican OT, remember, hold on. I gotta play it because they learned in the hard way. A lot of them are learning the hard way. Let me pull, come on now. Stop being slow. A lot of them are learning the hard way. Don't call our bluff. Remember, Mexican OT was sitting up there trying to call our bluff, and he was all like, man, what are y'all gonna do about it? I don't think y'all gonna do nothing about it. Mexican OT with the N-word.
As everything just goes viral and everybody's scared of getting canceled. So
right there. And there's one right here. Not.
Okay, well, we're gonna use him.
Okay, that's my manager. Hey,
Because
Will.
me and Fee know what's up.
Well, you're black. I'm playing.
What the fuck are you gonna do about it, you know? And then second of all,
Oh. And then guess what happened? Mexican OT wound up apologizing. You see? Mexican OT, oh, what y'all gonna do about it? 2 weeks later, I would like to apologize to everybody I offended. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was a little tipsy. I didn't mean that. Yeah. Oh, don't Mexican OT had to, y'all should have learned from him. Do not try us. We are not people you want to test. Okay. Sometimes when we give you a warning, that's just being nice. Even if we give you a warning and we bluffing and we probably taking it about 10% serious, if the second you say what's up, then that 10% turned to 90%. Okay, we moving furniture around at that point. Not that we support violence, but we get to moving furniture around at that point. Y'all talk about what y'all gonna do about it. Oh, can y'all do it now? That's dumb. And you gonna learn the hard way. Because at first I was all like, maybe, I mean, some are good, some are bad. But y'all talking greasy? What? Y'all don't think we can do it? That's what y'all don't think? I've been seeing other stuff. They send up there, I've been seeing comments and they send up there like, man, Africans been supporting Africans anyway. We don't really need them anyway. Y'all gonna boycott with your EBT cards? Okay. Now watch when y'all businesses start closing down, because y'all don't go to y'all own businesses. Y'all bring them over here in our community for a reason. So watch when we start doing that. I promise you guys, just like the siblings with the broken window, I promise y'all gonna get yourself together. I promise that. The second y'all feeling tough now, y'all feeling bold now, okay, all right, cool. But I promise you, this time next year, we're going to have a whole different attitude from y'all. Right now, it's discipline time. We're going to have a whole different attitude. We've been doing stuff individually, but that's just been taking too long. Now, everybody got to go. Everybody got to get this work. Everybody. Okay? Everybody got to get this work. You got to get it because you did it, and you got to get it because you allowed him to do it. So now everybody got to get it. Everybody got to get it now. Okay? He called my bluff. So I'm getting him and you. And then I got to get everybody now. Because if I do that, y'all going to think that I'm somebody to play with. And I'm nobody to play with. We are not people to play with. So now everybody got to get it. And that's because of y'all. See, if y'all would have checked y'all tethers a long time ago, we wouldn't be at this point. We wouldn't be at this point. And we didn't want to be here. But then we telling y'all, okay, this is what we thinking. And y'all going to try us? You want to call our bluff? Okay, game on. Oh, we very competitive. We gonna see who fold first. We gonna see who fold first. We gonna see. We gonna find out. Don't do that. Don't call our bluff. Act like what we gonna do about it. Ask Fat Joe. Ask Fat Joe what calling our bluff does. Ask Fat Joe. Ask Kamala. Ask them. Ask Obama. Ask all of them what calling our bluff will do to you. Ask Essence Fest what calling our bluff will do to you. Ask them what calling our bluff will do. Okay. Let me get to it. Come on now. Hold on. There's a couple more super chats, and then we get to Andre. He says, let's boycott all businesses and support FBA business only. The thing is that if we got to build a Black Wall Street, we got to do that in-house because they not helping. They not on that page. They are not trying to be on the same page we trying to be on. So, okay. And that's what I'm talking about. Let's support our businesses and keep the dollar in our community the way it's supposed to be. I'm with that. Okay. Reviewers. Okay. He says, what that guy did who changed up your words is an actual YouTube violation, and he should be reported, and you should sue for slander, altered footage, boycott all. Hey, that's true. Now that was on Twitter, but yeah, I'm gonna look into it and I'm gonna report that, and that's what I'm saying. They will start doing that stuff, but we staying on them. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, okay, my exceptional people, okay, we staying on them. We are not to be tried. They gonna learn. They gonna learn the hard way. Ask the African Union how serious they should take us. The African Union wouldn't be including us if they weren't serious about it. If they didn't know we had the momentum, if we had the movement, we got the sauce, everybody trying to be like us, okay? We are the culture. If we weren't, African Union wouldn't be even looking at us, okay? All right. You know, another thing we learn from our culture is that a hard head make a soft ass. A hard head makes a soft ass. And they're going to have to learn that because maybe they don't understand that, but they're going to have to learn. But until then, what I need from you guys is y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. My beloved, exceptional Foundation Black American brothers and sisters, appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Make sure that you guys are always notified. If you guys have not been getting the notifications, you guys can follow on the social media platforms, which are linked in the description down below. And with that being said, my beloved, beautiful Foundation Black American brothers and sisters, I appreciate y'all. Got the FBA Rally for Reparations shirt on because we standing on it. And we making sure that we stand on it because we getting our money. We getting our money and we not letting no tethers, no white supremacists, no Sambos, mask lovers. We not letting nobody get in our way at all. Not no more. And I appreciate every single last one of you guys for being here and supporting. Thank you all very much. There's been a couple of cash apps that I want to acknowledge as well too. Shout out to the cash apps from Latribia and Irv. Shout out to them. Shout out to you, family. Appreciate you all. That being said, be one to every single last one of y'all. Thank you guys for listening. Of course, y'all have a good one. Stay blessed.